Sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drape on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drape.
Yeah, let's go Sacramento Kings. Whitey Gleason here in our Sacramento studios. We go to Houston now where Kyle Draper is getting ready to bring us the Rockets and the Kings. And Kyle, happy Monday to you. Thanks for your time, of course, but we appreciate it when you're on the road. But there's a little pressure on you tonight. We kind of need you to come through with a victory tonight, big guy. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what, Whitey? You know, the team couldn't handle their business on Saturday, so I'm going to take things into my own hands. I already hollered at my guy, Travis Scott, Bun B, everybody down here in Houston. I said, you know what? My Kings need a win tonight. Let's make it happen. I think you'll see a much more inspired Sacramento team. What happened Saturday, I'm going to say it right off the bat, Whitey. Wow. What happened Saturday is unacceptable if you're a Sacramento Kings fan and if you're a Sacramento Kings player. This team is better than that. And so I expect a big-time bounce-back game tonight from our guys.
Sounded like it was also unacceptable as far as Mike Brown was concerned. And one of the things that's becoming something of an issue here, and hopefully to your point, hopefully the Kings can, put it in the rear view tonight, but there are some questions now as to who this team is. We know who they want to be. We know who they were last year. I'm not sure we know what and who they are right now. The offense, which we thought we could count on, of course, is everyone can recognize it's not what it was last year. And then defensively, they're up and down. So in your estimation, who and what are the Kings right now? How far are they from what they want to be?
I think they're still a ways away, to be honest with you. They are improved defensively. The numbers indicate that, but the offense has not looked smooth. But I will say this, Whitey. We're 5 games into the season. Did we know who this team was 5 games in last year. Remember, they were 1-4 through their first 5. And so Kings fans, calm down just a little bit. You got all these basketball experts on Twitter or X or whatever we call it, Elon Musk's playground. There's so many basketball experts out there. Just shut up, guys. Let Mike Brown, let the coaches handle it. They'll be fine. And so all this talk, who are we? Identity. You can't lose to Houston. We're 5 games in. This team was 1-4 last year, and they had some new additions, and they're missing De'Aaron Fox. It's a long NBA season. See, you got me fired up already, man. I didn't come in here this fired up, but now you got me fired up, Whitey, because it just seems like everybody's panicking right now. We need to just calm down.
Well, that's because the coach is not taking that tack. The coach didn't say after that loss, he didn't say, you know what? We're 5 games in, we're fine. That's not what Coach Brown said. So when the coach is saying this is unacceptable, people better start doing what they're supposed to do, or we just won't play them, you can't blame fans for getting a little concerned when they're hearing that so early in the season.
Well, but that's what the coach is supposed to say, after a loss. I'll tell you this. The Kings had practice yesterday here in Houston, and it was a lengthy practice. It was a good 3 to 4 hours, which is usually longer than what they go. And so clearly Mike Brown was unhappy with what we saw the other night here in Houston, and rightfully so. But this whole notion that, they got to fix it, what's going on here, I think, when you look at an NBA season, 10 to 20 games is really what it takes to sort of hit your stride. And we're only halfway, a quarter of the way through the first 20 games. And so what I saw Wednesday against Golden State showed me that this team can be good. This team, there's no need to worry about this team, even without De'Aaron Fox. I'll tell you this. I wasn't shocked at how lethargic we looked the other night against Houston. I'll tell you a secret here. We hop off the plane, and the first thing the players are going to do is they go to practice. Me, Katie, and G-Man, we decided to go back to the hotel. I'm driving to the hotel with Katie and G-Man, and I say to Katie, I'm like, man, I don't know how these players going to practice today because I felt jet lag. I felt tired. She reminded me, Kyle, you're 48. They're in their 20s, so I'm sure their bodies feel a little bit better. But they went from practice to De'Aaron Fox's jersey retirement ceremony, got back to the hotel around 10:30, turned around, had practice the next morning as well. And so I'm going to hold off on judging this team. Now, if they come out flat again tonight, I might start hitting the panic button tomorrow. But right now, you know what? I'm going to count it as a schedule loss. They just look lethargic. Houston looked like the team with the more energy. And so if I'm the Kings, I should be excited to get back out on the floor. I expect, like I said, to see a much improved Kings team.
By the way, to that point, and just to take a little detour here, you reminded me of something I saw last night. I was watching the documentary on the Dream Team. You're talking about how hard it is to fly and then practice, then you got a game the next day. And you've probably seen this, but all the players around that Dream Team, that Barcelona Olympic team, they were saying that Michael Jordan would play golf all day, then he would play cards all night and get up the next day and score 40. And they'd say, how does he do it? I mean, he must be bionic.
Exactly. And that's why he was Michael Jordan, right? That's why he was a different dude.
Well, here's the thing that makes me think that the Kings are trying to sort out exactly how they're going about this. And I'm not trying to make too much of this, but it's not alarming, but it's interesting. I know I shared this with you earlier today. Malik said, actually it was Davion. Davion said this. He said, that's the tough part, trying to play as fast as they want and also trying to play really good defense. It's tough, but I think really good teams accomplish that, and that's how teams become really good teams when they can do both. But it is a challenge. It's interesting because I know we said after the Warrior game, hey, Keegan, he worked so hard to defend Steph Curry. Maybe he had nothing left in the tank offensively. But it looks like we saw some of that or something like that against Houston. So it seems like the Kings are struggling to play as intensely on defense as Mike Brown requires and still getting up and down the floor as much as he wants them to do offensively. It's a concern.
I think there's a little something to that because what you're seeing from this Kings team, they're playing fast on both ends of the floor. I mean, you look at them scrambling defensively, trying to get after it defensively. And in my mind, I just always picture Kevin Huerter and just how hard he is working defensively. And so there is going to be an adjustment period. We're only 5 games in. I will say that's what separates the great teams from just the very good teams. You know, there's a reason why the Warriors will go down as one of the all-time great teams, because it's hard to be a top 5 offensive team and a top 5 defensive team. And you know, Whitey, as well as I do, when the Warriors were winning their championships, when they won 3 out of 4, it wasn't just because they outscored teams and put up 130 every night. They were also one of the best defensive teams out there. And that's what makes Steph Curry so incredible, right? I mean, and it goes back to training, off-season conditioning, all of that. And I think the Kings are starting to learn that. You know, what's interesting is obviously they're missing shots, but that game against Houston, when they took the lead, I thought, man, it was there for the taking. And then the Rockets responded, with the 7-0 run, and then they ran away with it. And so that what was so disappointing to me, because never once did I feel like the Kings were actually playing Kings basketball the other night. But yet here they were in the third quarter, hanging around. And you would hope that somebody would flip a switch, something would get going, and it just never happened for them the other night.
That was a bizarre quarter with the two teams combining for 27 points. Like, what?
15 to 12, man. Come on.
I hope after, the way he's blowing kisses to the bench, are you finally coming around to my side on the whole Dillon Brooks thing? Blowing kisses to the Kings bench when he made a shot.
Oh, my gosh.
Huh?
I told you. Dillon Brooks is a good player. You called him, you didn't think he had that in him. I'm telling you, this guy is a good player. And I'll tell you what. When I was talking to some of the coaches and some of the front office guys, you know what? Dillon Brooks is that guy you love to hate, especially when he's on the other team, right? It's like, man, you hate him on the Rockets. But if he was on your team, every team needs somebody like Dillon Brooks. Forget what you want to say, what happened last year in Memphis. That was just a bad situation. But, man, you talk to the Rockets and what he brings to this team, the little edge, soon as he walks in the building, he has an aura about him. And he was getting buckets. And so that's why if I'm the Kings, I got to shut up Dillon Brooks today. Dillon Brooks ain't going to be waving to us.
Yes.
That ain't happening today.
Yeah, if Dillon Brooks is on the other team, I don't like him. If he's on my team, I find a new team to root for.
Right.
But that's you don't have to worry about that right now. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Will has some thoughts for us here on Sactown Sports. Will, you're on with Kyle Draper. Buddy Gleason, what's up?
What's up, fellas?
Yo.
Hey, Drape, you my boy, man. You my boy. We go back to last year, but I got to pick a bone with you, Drape.
What you got?
Drape, just like in the Warrior game when we lost that game by 1 point, man. Look, I think we had a timeout. We had scored. We had a timeout. And I'm thinking, Brown, man, call timeout. Look, don't end up with my little man guarding Clay. I mean, If you ain't gonna use Kessler at all on defense, why is he on the team? Why he ain't in the G League? I mean, the dude's 6'8", and they got him on the team for defense.
Got you, Willie. Thank you, but Kyle, I'll let you answer. But you can't call a timeout when the other team has the ball. It's basically
right. And Willie's being a classic Monday morning quarterback guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There, we could point to a couple of things that happened at the end of that game and see, Mike, you should have had this or you should have did that,
But he's not even talking about Saturday's game. He's talking about last week.
Yeah, he's still in his feelings about Wednesday's game. We're past that. That was a great effort. To give Klay Thompson credit. Davion at 6'2", trying to guard a 6'6" Klay Thompson. That's tough, obviously. But you know what? I just think, you're missing your guy, De'Aaron Fox, and boy, could we have used him the other night against Houston, because we just didn't have anybody offensively that could just take over a game. And so I'm looking at Domantas Sabonis tonight. He needs to be better tonight. Keegan Murray needs to be better tonight. And so we'll see what this Kings team is made of. I'm not saying it's a must win or anything like that, but these are the games you're supposed to win. You got Houston, you got Portland coming up. Over these 3 games, I was thinking go 2-1. You're solid. You're good. They need to get tonight's game.
Yeah, that's what Jerry was saying. Jerry was in for you Friday as you were traveling. He said the same thing. Yeah, you win 2 of these 3, you're in good shape. So now you have no more wiggle room. Take care of business tonight. By the way, your Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday, 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Get your tickets at Hornet Sports. Lots of great comments, suggestions, questions here already on the YouTube chat. Also 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Give us a call. Got a lot of comments already. The text line, appreciate that. When we come right back, is this true, Drapes? We have a special edition, a Monday edition of Drapes Takes?
Yeah, I've been sitting on it for 48 hours. I'm ready to let it go. Let's
All right.
go. I'm ready.
Coming up next, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose.
Mommy.
That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The Drive Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Make no mistake, this is an important game tonight. I know it's early in the season. I know last year the Kings started slowly. And I know that, hey, if they were to lose tonight, be uncomfortable, but you still got obviously a long ways to go. That said, Kyle Draper, I think the Kings, it would behoove them to make a positive statement tonight. Would you agree with that, coming to us from Houston today?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I feel the restlessness from this Sacramento Kings fan base. I know people had us going 70-12 this season, so I get the angst that I'm feeling from Kings fans on social media and the YouTube chat and everything. And so, no, this is kind of a big game, though, because, you know, and why do we talk at length about it, you know, leading up to this season? The one criticism that outsiders had about the Kings is what's going to happen when you don't have, you know, great health. You know, what happens when De'Aaron Fox goes down or Domantas Sabonis, or you're not a whole team. And so here we are, 2 games without Fox. We're 0-2 right now. And so, you know, you got to shut up some of them doubters, some of those naysayers. This is a big game tonight.
Yeah, and one of the keys to the Kings winning as many games as they did last year was that for the most part, I know there were exceptions that stand out, but they had a really good record, 26-8, something like that, against bad teams. Well, Houston doesn't look like they're going to be a good team this year. Maybe they'll surprise us. But you don't want to start the season by losing 2 in a row, even though they're road games, to a team that you don't expect to be one of the best teams in your conference, because the conference is going to be so tough. So a lot on the line tonight. By the way, before we get to Drape Stakes, which are coming right up, what do you make of this comment from Jaden here on the chat? Is Murray the player we thought he was? We want him to be a star, but what star struggled this much in the second year, getting in trouble for being soft and not shooting? But I love him. So what but I love him. What do you make of where Kings fans should be right now with Keegan Murray?
I think we're asking a lot of this guy, and I'm not just saying Kings fans, the organization, the coaching staff, Keegan himself, everybody expected him to be a lot better to start this season. But, you know, I could argue that he's just missing shots right now. He's still active. He's better defensively, right? He's a much more improved defensive player, I think, this season, and he's just missing shots right now. And so his slump is coming at the beginning of the year. Remember, if I'm correct, mid-December of last season, he went in through a little slump as well and then busted out of it. And so I'm not too worried about Keegan. All is going to take, a 5-3 game and he'll be A-okay. But he's asked to do a lot on the other end defensively. That goes back to our conversation from the first block. He's asked to guard, at times the perimeter's best, the other team's best perimeter player. Like, he's guarding Dillon Brooks. He's guarding Fred VanVleet, Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do think it's taken a little bit out of him, maybe some of his legs, and that's why he's not hitting it. But if you want to be a great player, this is what you got to do, Keegan.
Yeah, I think that's one of the absolute keys to the whole season. Everything you said is verifiable, 100% true. They are asking a lot of him, but they need a lot of him this year, especially with De'Aaron Fox out, if they're going to get anywhere near where they need to get to. And that was part of the deal. And he knows it, and they know it. And it's not just, well, he's a young player. They're asking a lot. They are asking a lot, and he's going to have to deliver. And maybe not every game, maybe not right away, but I think a lot of their success this year hinges on how well he handles those challenges that you just described, Kyle.
Yeah, and when you think about Keegan, all off season, everybody wanted to go out and get a big name, go out and make a move, bring in Kyle Kuzma, where internally they thought Keegan Murray was going to be that guy. And so
he's got to be.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Like Mike Brown said it on the All the Smoke podcast. Who's that third member of your big three? And without a doubt, he said Keegan. And so I'm not too worried about him just yet. Obviously, the numbers are down. The shooting efficiency is down, but he's contributing in other ways. And once he unlocks his shot, I mean, what concerns me, and not necessarily a concern, Whitey, is you would think with De'Aaron Fox down, other guys would step up. This would be Keegan Murray's chance to really shine. And he hasn't taken that bull by the horns. And so, that's a little upsetting. I won't say concerning. That's a little upsetting, but it is what it is. He has another opportunity tonight, and let's see what he does.
Yeah, and let's hear what we have in store for us here. It's time for Drapes Takes special.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
Yeah, this is an angry edition of Drapes Takes. I'm not in a good mood right now, Whitey. I'm upset. I'm pissed off. My squad came in here the other night and lost to Houston by 18. That cannot happen tonight. The Kings have to bounce back. Here's my takeaway from the other night in that loss here inside Toyota Center. One, we missed De'Aaron Fox. No duh. We get that, Drapes, but that's not the point. I'm going to dig into some numbers. Where we missed De'Aaron Fox the most is in the paint. Last year, he was among the league leaders in guards at finishing around the rim. Last game, Saturday here in Houston, the Sacramento Kings just 21 of 40 shots inside the paint. That's barely above 50%. They got to do a better job. That's where they missed De'Aaron Fox. They got to convert on some of these easy ones, some of these shots inside the paint. And we saw that also against Golden State as well, Whitey, where they struggled finishing inside the paint. And that's where, in my opinion, they missed De'Aaron Fox the most.
Yeah, here's a fun fact for you. De'Aaron Fox is leading the league in points per game in the paint besides the restricted area. If you understand my thing. That's a number, and actually leads the league in points in the non-restricted area of the paint. So you're right. They miss him terribly.
Oh, look at you doing some research. I'm impressed.
Sure.
I see you out there.
Yeah.
I see. My second Drapes take, I'm looking at the big fella in the middle. I'm talking about the three-time All-Star. I'm talking about the All-NBA third-team guy, Domantas Sabonis. Domas has to be better tonight. He cannot just, draw even with Alperen Şengün. Like, he has to dominate that matchup. I got some numbers for you. 11 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists. Not too bad on paper, but he only went to the line 4 times, 4 free throws. He only had 10 shots. With De'Aaron Fox out, Domantas Sabonis should have like 20 shots tonight and give the Rockets some credit. They did a great job surrounding him, sending 2 and 3 bodies at him. That's where his teammates have to do a better job helping him out. But Domas has to be better tonight.
Yeah, the assist number was low, but it reminds me of what was going on in the playoff series with the Warriors, where one of the reasons the assist numbers for Domas were low is because guys weren't making shots.
Yeah.
If he passes it and someone misses a shot, no assist for you. What concerned me, though, was he did have 5 turnovers. And you're right,
Yeah.
Şengün outplayed them, and that can't happen tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. You make some shots, and hopefully that opens things up for Domantas Sabonis to go to work. So I'm looking for that tonight. Third and final Drapes tape. And this is the reason why Sacramento Kings fans should just calm down. Everything will be okay. Look at a deep dive into the numbers for Sacramento. They're shooting just 35.6% on wide open three-pointers. That's 23rd in the NBA. Last year, they were 12th in the NBA on wide open three-pointers at 39%. You can't tell me that all of a sudden Keegan Murray, Kevin Huerter, and these guys forgot to make shots. And so they're getting great looks. In fact, they're getting more wide open attempts than anybody in the entire NBA. So the offense is flowing. Sure, it didn't look that great the other night against Houston, but they're still getting great looks. They just aren't knocking them down. And to me, that's something I'm not panicking about. Now, if they were turning the ball over, which they're not, they're number 2 in the NBA in fewest turnovers per game. If they weren't getting high assist numbers, then I would be concerned. But they're just missing shots right now, Whitey, and making shots cures everything. I think the Kings look for a bounce back offensive effort from them tonight.
Kevin Huerter's shot doesn't look great. It looks like it's in his head a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Keep the faith. They're going to go in eventually. I know Deux also had a story at NBCSports.com about how many wide open threes the Kings are getting. I'm glad you mentioned the turnovers because I don't think the Kings are getting enough credit for that. Obviously, when you're off to 2-3 start, you don't deserve a ton of credit for anything. But it's remarkable that they're pushing pace because Coach Brown wants them to push pace, and yet they're taking care of the ball. And that's something that bodes really well for their future this year once they can get this offense figured out.
100%, because when you look at it, the numbers are all in their favor. We talked about the defensive rating. They're middle of the pack, I think 15.
That's great.
That's we got to talk about. Like nobody's talking about that. That's what you wanted to see. You wanted to see them make a leap when it comes to defense. They're doing that. The offense, sure, they're not scoring as many points, but I just shared with you they're getting more open looks than anybody in the NBA. And so all they have to do is start knocking down some shots, and then bam, they could have won the Warriors game. They should have won last night's game, Saturday night's game. And so now you're looking at 4-1 instead of 2-3. And so I firmly and fully expect this team to shoot better starting tonight.
Real quick, your opinion. Is that Drapes takes for today?
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
That's it.
Great
that's
job.
all I'm going to be back with more tomorrow.
All right. Look forward to it. A lot of people, when you read comments and this story, that story, a lot of people are, they're saying, Monk should be starting. Huerter's not playing well. Hopefully Huerter starts hitting shots. It's not an issue. But don't you think that if it gets to a point where Mike Brown makes a change in the starting lineup, it would probably be Duarte would start. Malik Monk's still going to come off the bench because he's so valuable there, right? So if you replace Huerter, it's probably not going to be with Monk.
Exactly. I don't get why everybody's saying, throw Malik Monk into the starting lineup. Malik is perfect right where he's at. Mike Brown talked about it last week before we came out to Houston. You don't want to mess with that. And you look at Chris Duarte, he played 26 minutes the other night. And so I think Duarte would be the guy because what Mike Brown likes, obviously, is his defensiveness, like his ability to play defense. He's tenacious at it, and he can knock down a shot. What needs to happen, though, which would solve all the problems in the world, if Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray start shooting the shots and making them. Make what you did last season. It's a whole different ball game for this team.
Not to go all Rod Stewart on you, but tonight's the night, please. We're going to get back and talk a little football here. By the way, we're only with you till 3:30 today because of Kings coverage. But up next, yesterday, not a bad bye week for the 49ers as they move back into first place. That more coming up next year with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Team, it's snowing again tomorrow. They're predicting 2 to 3 feet.
'Tis the overtime season for Frank Snowplows.
Kelly, can you take another shift?
Let it snow. Quality driver applicants.
Hey guys, know anybody else with a D license?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Pro Time at Lowe's. Get big savings and rewards during Provember. Right now, buy one exclusive DeWalt 20-volt Max XR Power Detect 2-tool combo kit. Get one select Power Detect Bear tool free. That's up to a $249 value. And there's more. Save $200 on the DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding miter saw. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 11/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Your defending Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday afternoon against the Cal Poly Mustangs. It's Military Appreciation Day at Hornet Stadium as we honor our local heroes. And don't miss the pregame flyover as kickoff is set for 2 p.m. Let's pack Hornet Stadium for the final regular season home game of the year as the Hornets strive for a fourth straight trip to the postseason. Don't miss any of the action or excitement of Hornet football. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
For 35 years, TruckSmart has been your local leader in truck accessories. Find racks, toolboxes, and lighting for your work truck, and trailer hitches, side steps, and bed covers for recreation. They have shells for work or play and offer Rhino lining, the best bed protection in the business. You like overlanding? TruckSmart has rooftop tents, recovery gear, and heavy-duty bumpers. Trust your ride to their skilled installers and expert sales staff at the Rockland and Auburn locations. TruckSmart. Your truck's gonna love them. TruckSmart.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Gobble, gobble, folks. It's that time of year again when the leaves fall, and so do the prices at Elk Grove Kia. We're bringing you Thanksgiving early with deals that'll make your wallet say thanks. This fall, our lot is stuffed with the latest Kia models, and we've carved out incredible savings. Get your hands on a brand new Kia with Elk Grove Kia's award-winning reliability and service you can trust, unlike your Auntie's dodgy broccoli casserole. Don't wait until the turkey's on the table. Come to Elk Grove Kia and feast on the best deals this fall. And don't worry if you have challenged credit. Our finance team has over 100 years of experience. They may or may not have even helped a pilgrim or two get qualified. So hurry on down to Elk Grove Kia, where the prices are falling faster than Uncle Bob falls asleep in front of the football game at Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving sale going on now at Elk Grove Kia, located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia, where the only thing bigger than our savings is our gratitude for our amazing customers.
Elk Grove Kia.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Yeah, 49ers had a pretty good Sunday yesterday, considering they didn't play. It's a drive, guys, taking you up to 3:30 when game night tips off, getting you ready for the Rockets and the Kings. Kyle Draper in Houston, Buddy Gleason here in Sacramento. First things first, Kyle, I gotta confess, I got another view that I doubt's going to be popular at all, but I'm sorry.
What?
Caleb Williams. I would just, that USC lost to Washington. Caleb Williams, that's it for their conference title hopes, probably for his Heisman Trophy hopes. And I understand that's devastating. And he goes up and he kind of crawls up almost onto his mom's lap, and then he starts crying, and cameras are showing him. And I just would, it's fine. I just would rather my quarterback not cry on his mom's shoulder in front of everybody. Maybe I'm just too old fashioned. It's fine.
I think you're old fashioned. Why not? Tell me why. Tell me
because that's my leader. That's my, and I know now.
What's wrong with that though? Like you got to be strong and emotional. It's okay. That's like saying I don't want to see my dad cry at home or something like that. I don't want to see my parents cry. They're the leader of the house. Come on, Whitey, it's 2023, man.
I know, but that's why I'm telling you. I would rather not see one of my leaders when things aren't going well. I'd rather not see him cry. Again, I'm not saying he's soft.
It'd be different if he's crying on the field. The game was over, Whitey.
Yeah.
It shows me he cares. Would you rather see him back in the locker room playing cards, high-fiving guys?
No, I'd rather hear him say something inspirational. And what he said was, I wish I had the direct quote here because it was something like, seriously, you probably heard it. I want to go home and curl up with my puppy
with his dogs
and watch TV.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I'm just being honest. Again, it's not like, I wouldn't draft him. I would draft him, but I would rather my quarterback have kind of a stiffer upper lip. That's all.
And I saw Jason Whitlock's comments. What a loser that guy. I mean, I'm not a fan of Whitlock, and he pounced on Caleb Williams. How about this, Whitey? I want Caleb Williams to do whatever it is he feels comfortable with. I want him to be true to himself. And so I want my quarterback to be true to himself. I want my leader to be true to himself and not worry about what Whitey or Kyle or Jason or people on the outside think. How come people just can't be themselves?
He can. I'm just telling you, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not saying that I would never draft that guy. Red flag. I'm just saying I'd rather one of my leaders, like you mentioned, you don't want to see your dad cry. If something happened in our family and, we had to rally around Dad, I would rather Dad say, you know what, it's tough, we're going to be okay, rather than I just want to curl up and with my doggy.
But
that's all
honest,
I'm saying,
man. He's being honest. That's why I'm okay with it. Like, as long as you're being honest to yourself and who you are, damn everybody else. Screw it. That's how I am. Yeah.
Like I said, I know I'm in the minority on this. Just being honest, because I saw it today. It's like, that's okay, but I think there's another way too that's okay. But anyway, be that as it may, people on the chat here are wondering if you know how to sing the Eagles song, which I'm sorry I brought that up, but big win for your Eagles yesterday, Kyle.
Yeah, how about that? Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay. He does.
For a touchdown, 1, 2, 3.
Now I'm going to start crying.
What a game that was last night, right? That was amazing. I tell you what, I texted you this morning, man. Both those teams, really nobody deserved to win that game. Some of the boneheaded plays made down the stretch. How about the Cowboys, man? I want to give them some credit. They actually played a really good football game. It was a game of inches, literally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could have had the 2-point conversion. They could have had the touchdown. Like, they could have had the fumble recovery. And so they played, I could argue, a better game than the Philadelphia Eagles. But Jalen Hurts and company, they just find a way to win. I'll tell you, though, watching that game last night, Whitey, I'm concerned about my Eagles. That secondary is abysmal.
What about your tight end, too?
Yeah. And, our tight end got hurt as well. And so the secondary's banged up. Like, if I'm the Eagles, I don't know what you can do to address it. But, Dak looked amazing last night. And the secondary has to be better. They're getting the wins, but I'm not confident right now that they're clear head and shoulders above other teams in the league.
My feeling watching that game was, and again, I'm taking nothing away from your team because they have the best record and they've earned every bit of it. And we know that they haven't played their best yet. So, they've still got some room there to get better. But from a 49er fan standpoint, I was feeling like, there's still a chance. You pointed out what a tough schedule they have. If the 49ers did address their needs with Chase Young, it's a big if, but if they can get back on track, I don't think they're out of it. I think it's very reasonable to think they still got a shot at the top spot in the conference.
Oh yeah, it's a long season. Here we are if you're the Niners, you're not even fully halfway through the season. You go on a run sort of like you did last year. When you look at your schedule, sure, you got some tough games. That Seattle stretch is going to be tough. And then Jacksonville coming up this week. But, if you go in there and you beat Philly with what the Eagles have coming up, KC, Buffalo, I mean, they got a tough schedule. And so you're right. Dallas losing, Seattle losing, they all helped the Niners out this week.
Yeah, so as badly as things have gone for the Niners of late and 3 straight losses, it ain't good. But they wake up today and, hey, they're third in the conference, number 1 in the division again. So it all depends on, to the extent to which Chase Young can help them fix everything. That's all they're asking, really. Can you fix everything on our defense? And as long as he does that, and if Trent Williams is back, that's great. But I know Emil today, he's down at practice, and he was reporting. He was on our station earlier. He said Debo practiced today. Trent Williams didn't practice, so fingers crossed there.
Yeah, and that's a big loss. Obviously Debo, they need him back, but Trent Williams is the guy that pretty much starts everything. Obviously, your pass protection, your run blocking, and you got to win the battles in the trenches on the line. And I think adding Chase Young helps them defensively, but offensively, losing Trent Williams, that's huge for them, especially this week against Jacksonville, a team I think, that's tough, hard-nosed, gritty. Their quarterback is gritty, and so they miss Trent, and we'll see how the week goes. But if you're the Niners, one thing I noticed last night, watching football, were the Seahawks exposed? I mean,
not to me. I tried to tell you.
I know you.
I was so happy.
They didn't just lose; they got mopped. They got mopped. The floor got mopped with them.
Yes.
I mean, unbelievable. Oh my gosh, Geno Smith looked awful. I mean, give the Ravens credit, man.
Ravens are good.
They're a good team. They're hitting their stride. But wow, they looked awful. When you look at the NFC, Whitey, though, I actually earned some respect for the Dallas Cowboys. And I want to know how you feel about them. Tough environment. Dak played did you see that last drive, the drive before last, where Dak took off running and went airborne to try and get the touchdown? Dak Prescott, he earned some points in my book with that performance yesterday.
Yeah, they looked so pathetic. There's no other word for it. Is there against the 49ers?
Yeah.
And it looked like, we all thought, frauds. And then since then, but that's a bad loss for them. They do have another shot at them, of course, at your team when they play them in Dallas. So, I'm kind of with you. I hate to admit that, but yeah, Dallas has gained more of my respect too. Real quick here, because I know in Houston where you are, they must be going crazy over C.J. Stroud, who threw for 470 yards. Yeah, 470 yards yesterday. Do you know, in a way, now bear with me here, he actually, the way he's playing, it puts a dent in my Brock Purdy argument. And I hate to admit this to you. Yeah, because, one of the things I've been saying about Brock Purdy, because a lot of people, you've been one of them at times, but a lot of people have said, he's just not that impressive. That's why no one drafted him. Or that's why almost no one drafted him. He was the last draft pick. Well, Brock Purdy did really well in a thing called the S2 cognition test. He was off the charts, and that's recognizing schemes and picking things up. And I don't know how they do it, but he was off the charts. And I've been saying, well, see, that's the key to his success. Well, it just so happens that C.J. Stroud, who threw for 5 touchdowns and 470 yards, he was terrible on that test. He did the worst you could do, and yet look how he's playing. So I guess that S2 cognition test that some of us Brock Purdy people are holding up as, let's see. I guess it's pretty meaningless, Kyle, when push comes to shove.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. But it's what's crazy is somebody said it earlier. Good thing the Texans didn't get the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't have taken C.J. Stroud. Bryce Young, I think, would have been the pick there. C.J. Stroud, he looks legit. And how about our guy D'Amico down there getting it done? I mean, he's doing a fantastic job with that roster. And so C.J. looks legit, man. He looks like the real deal.
And here's a number that I would have never guessed on C.J. Stroud. He has a rookie record now. His passer rating yesterday, 147.8. Single game, that's the best of any rookie ever. So I was wondering, well, who held the previous record? Marcus Mariota. in 2015. I would have never guessed that in a million years. But that's your backup now, right?
Exactly. I was a little worried there yesterday, too, that we might see Marcus Mariota. Remember, I'll tell you what, that was a dirty hit, I thought, that the Cowboy, I forget who did it, when he landed.
That's football, Kyle.
Yeah, don't give me that.
Football.
That's football. You know you can't go on low on a quarterback, Whitey.
I didn't see a
He
flag.
almost knocked my – exactly. Unbelievable. Like, they almost ended my quarterback season, and I was worried. But, he plays hurt, man. Yeah. What a guy.
He's playing well.
He's a player, yes.
Up next, the NFL's 9th Sunday begs the question, has that ever happened before? Look at a couple of things that went down yesterday that were just borderline unbelievable, and more on the Kings as well with Kyle Draper in Houston today. It's a Drive Guys rolling on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted, ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner.
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple of people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store. Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Gold Country Casino Resort proudly presents an unforgettable night of professional boxing. On Saturday, November 11th, our event features a stacked fight card with exciting bouts of live boxing that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Don't miss out on this epic night of boxing action. Tickets are on sale now at GoldCountryCasino.com for this exciting event. November 11th at 7 p.m. only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top-brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill is turning me into a pro. Napoleon Grills has features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills. Now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories for the holidays.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Oh, I wish it would never end. I was just watching Kyle Draper, some highlights here in the monitor of the Ravens over the Seahawks, and I could have watched that. Yeah, more. 37-3. How about this? I just saw this number. ESPN posted this number. The Ravens defense against teams that currently have winning records, the Ravens defense this year against teams that currently have a winning record, they're giving up 10.6 points per game. That's the Ravens defense, as much as we focus on Lamar for good reason. How about that?
They're a complete team, man. And you know, Lamar is back in the MVP discussion, and that Ravens defense looking like early 2000s Ray Lewis.
Yes.
Baltimore Ravens defense. And no, they got a chance too, because I when you look at it, I think the AFC is wide open right now. I think there are a number of teams that can come out of it. Obviously, Baltimore, Cincinnati's playing great right now, and I don't think anybody wants to face them. And obviously, Kansas City.
Drive Guys with you till 3:30. Then we've got game night, and of course, Kyle in Houston with the coverage of the Kings and the Rockets tonight on California Sports. I'm sorry, Bay Area Sportsnet.
Come on, why do you guys get it right, big fella? Leave the
Bay Area
promos.
Sports California.
No, NBC Sports
That's
California.
it. That's it.
Oh, thanks. You're telling me that's
I'm
it.
sorry.
Thanks.
Thank you. I don't know. It's a daylight savings, and it's supposed to be the other way that throws you off. But I'm all out of whack here today. I apologize. Here's a question for you on the chat here from Linda Harold. Kyle, she wants to know, we need Fox back. When is De'Aaron Fox going to be back? Do we know?
No, still don't know. And that's a great question. Obviously, I was thinking maybe today, but, I said it the other day, Fox didn't even take part in shoot-around on Saturday, spent the entire shoot-around just riding a bike. Stationary bike, got up some shots, and then got treatment afterwards. And so I'm sure this is taking longer than he expected to, because remember, after it, he said, a few days to a week. And here we are, a week plus now. And maybe Wednesday at home against Portland. But, man, I tell you, they do need him, especially you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander coming up on Friday. I mean, you're going to need all hands on deck against that OKC team.
And that's a tournament game, I don't need to remind you.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see what happened to the Nuggets with their tournament court?
No,
was
what happened?
One of the players, and I'm sorry, I forget who it was warming up. They hadn't played a game yet, and this was like early in the day, and he's out on the floor warming up, like shoot around. And he's like, something's off here. This doesn't look right, and I can't reach the basket. They had the 3-point line painted too far out.
I did hear about that.
They had to redo it. And he's like, hey, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So
good thing they caught that. That's one of those things you could suspend a game, like postpone a game.
Oh, yeah. They'd have to cancel that sucker, huh?
Yeah. That'd be an in-season
court.
tournament game. Think about that.
What did you think of some of the courts? this weekend?
I don't know. I mean,
a little over the top.
Yeah,
me,
a little over the
grow
top.
on me.
It doesn't bother me, but some of them looked okay. Other, I think it was Chicago's. I think looks really gaudy, I guess. Like I don't know if I like it. Like it's so much red, and so but then Milwaukee's, Milwaukee went the other way. Like
kind of austere,
yeah, exactly. And so I mean, it is what it is. We'll see the Kings coming up on Friday.
I appreciate the effort. I understand. Sometimes I feel like they're hitting me over the head with this, but it's okay. Yeah, I get it. Hopefully it'll be something special that we're all gonna remember and enjoy. Yesterday was a weird day in the NFL. There was two things, Kyle, that really stood out to me. One is the fact that Josh Dobbs, who just got in there with the Vikings, and he's been on 5 teams in 45 weeks. And because he was on the Detroit practice squad, then Tennessee, then Cleveland, then Arizona, and now the Vikings. And did you see the video of him practicing the snaps and the cadence on the sideline? Because he didn't even know the guys, the offensive lineman in the center. And then he gets pressed into duty because the other quarterback got hurt, and he got sacked for safety and then strip sacked, and he came back and won the game.
Yeah.
Not only did he not know his teammates, he didn't know the plays, and he won the game.
He's been the best story in the league this season. I mean, going from, off the scrap heap and joining Arizona and being plugged into service and, helping them get the big win over Dallas earlier this season, then getting traded. I mean, you could argue that the Cardinals should have kept him as quarterback and traded Kyler Murray, And so, no, kudos to him, man. That was fun to see, and I'm happy for him. And they said he's going to start again this week for the Vikings. So we'll see, man.
Yeah, he said he learned all that from Coach Tomlin because he was with the Steelers, too. And he said, Coach Tomlin taught us, and this is, for me anyway, I think it's one of those great life lessons. Nobody cares about your circumstance. They just care that you do the best in the circumstance you're in. So, he had every excuse, right? Say, I'm sorry, I can't, I don't know the guys. But no, he made the best of it and won the freaking game. So good for him. And then how about Dare Ogunbowale, what he did? Dare Ogunbowale of the Texans.
Yes.
Yeah, because Fairbairn got hurt, so they need a kicker. And so he's a running back?
A running back, number 33.
Yeah.
And nailed a 29-yarder.
Yes, like it was nothing. And the coolest part was he makes it, he runs back downfield like, so what? I've seen kickers that one of the Grammaticas injured himself celebrating a kick, and he's a kicker. And this guy's like, it's not that hard. That was incredible.
What was so great, that kick came, if I'm correct, in the fourth quarter. About 9 minutes to go, it put the team ahead. Like that was the game going ahead kick, and he drilled it, and he got some air under it too. It looked legit. I don't know if it would have been good from 50 yards, but from 35, it still might have been good. And so, no, that was a great story. And what they say, the first non-kicker since Wes Welker, I believe, to kick a field goal. And Wes Welker did it in 2004 with the Patriots, I believe. Was it with the Patriots or Dolphins? I can't remember who he was with at that time.
Yeah, I saw that too. And I think, was it Peter King had this? Somewhere I saw this note. Ogunbowale, he's the first running back. I know Welker was a running back, but he's the first running back to make a field goal attempt since 1979.
Wow.
So, like I said, I don't know if I've ever seen that. I just, as much as we talk about Jake Moody and all the kickers and how tough it is, and he just looked like, maybe that's it. It's like, well, I'm not expected to make it, so if I miss, no big deal. He just drilled that sucker, Kyle.
Yeah, and how do you know he can do that? Is that something you practice, or does the coach turn around and say, hey, guys, can anybody kick the ball?
Yeah. I wonder. I hope he's the AFC special teams player of the week.
That would be awesome, right?
Yeah. He also had a kickoff that he drilled through the end zone, but I think because of penalties, he was kicking from about the 50-yard line, so wasn't that big of a deal. But still, for a running back to do that and help them, as
hopefully
you say,
he got the ball too, right?
Yes.
Like, that's one of those things where give me that ball, I'm going to save it, for the rest of my life, show my kids, I kicked the field goal in the NFL. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Josh Dobbs got a game ball too. Which is so incredible because early in the game, as you probably saw, he's over with the coaches and they're just trying to show him, here's what you do. You don't do what you just did where, the safety, don't do that. And they win the game. So that was amazing. And I think sports are at their best to me when they are inspiring, when they inspire you. And to me, both those guys are like, wow, That's really inspirational that those guys came through like that. Hopefully the Kings are inspirational tonight. When we come back, what's job one for the Kings? How badly do they need a win? Kyle Draper from Houston with more on that when we come right back. It's Drive, guys, on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Guys, your testosterone level can impact your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Book your testosterone level check at Revive Men's Health, Sacramento. They're the local experts with guaranteed treatment for low T and ED. There are no lab fees, and all your tests are included when you start treatment. And many patients find Revive more affordable than their insurance deductibles and copays. Book your testosterone level check today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Yeah, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a 2-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Station in Sacramento, giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Speaking of local sports here, your Sac State Hornets are home this Saturday, 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Kyle Draper, I guarantee you, if Sac State loses, you will not see Caden Bennett crawling into his mommy's lap and crying. So, guarantee you that.
And if he did decide to do that, I'd be okay with it, Whitey. I'd be okay with it.
You'd be okay with it. Good for you. Good for you. We are not okay with the fact that the Kings got pushed around by the Rockets. Kyle's in Houston getting ready for the call tonight. I'm here in Sacramento. We're taking you up to game night at just at the bottom of the hour here, so we just have little show left to go here. But Kyle, what do the Kings need to get done tonight? How badly do they need to win, and what in your mind is job one tonight for the Kings?
I think they need to win in the worst way tonight. I mean, to lose 2 games to Houston, no offense, Ime Udoka and your squad, but if the Sacramento Kings are going to be who we want them to be and expect them to be, they got to win these games. And so I think the key tonight is, you know what, stay the course. I thought, the legs were a little tired the other night, a little lethargic out there, play with more energy and just make the shots. I mean, it's crazy to say, right? It's, but when you look at it, I dropped the knowledge earlier, they're getting more wide open shots than anybody in the league, and they just aren't cashing in. And obviously they're playing hard on both ends of the floor. But I remember watching last season saying to myself, I don't think if they can keep up this pace, like just offensively, I was marveling at how well they did and how fast they move and how hard they played offensively. Now you're doing it on both ends. And so I think it's going to take some time. But if they knock down shots, Doc Rivers used to always say it's a make-miss league. And it really is, because when you look at it, the Rockets shot 46%, 36% from three. The Kings were 11 of 41 from three-point range. Keegan Murray, 1 for 8. Kevin Huerter, 0 for 3. And a lot of them were good looks. And so they just got to make some shots. Mike Brown has talked about it. This team sort of goes how their offense goes. Like when they're clicking and making shots, you see their defense pick up. I need their defense to turn into offense. You can't have 2 fast break points. It's hard to do that in an NBA game, to only have 2 fast break points. So let's see if they get some easy ones going out there tonight, too.
Yeah, it's one of the things Mike Brown was upset about, the fact that, he kind of went off on him post-game, as you well know. You're probably there Saturday. And he said, we missed shots, and look at the body language.
Right,
and, it's like, that cannot happen. We can't do that. You're going to miss shots. You can't go home to mommy and crawl in her lap, start crying when you miss a shot. You got
lose a game. That's a different story, though. You can do it if you lose a game.
But seriously, Mike Brown was very, very upset about what you just raised. Do you think, at the risk of oversimplifying, let me ask you this, and to ask is not to assume I know the answer, but when the Kings are not shooting the 3-ball well, do they need to take the ball to the basket more? They did not shoot the 3-ball well, and they only had 42 points in the paint, which is not a lot.
Well, when you look at it, last game, this is so interesting. I got the box score. They took 41 threes, Whitey. They took 40 shots in the paint. So 81 of their 84 shots came either from 3 or in the paint.
3 are in the key, baby.
That's what coaches want, right? That's what they want. They don't want that mid-range crap.
Right.
You either take it to the basket or you shoot threes. And so I don't have a problem with them taking 41 threes. Their magic number really is 45. If they can chuck it up 45 times, they're happy with that. A lot of those threes were good looks. Like they were shots Keegan Murray usually makes, right? They were shots he made last season. And so that goes back to one of the things I talked about earlier, to your point about taking it to the basket more. Well, who's your best penetrator? Who's the best guy that gets to the paint? De'Aaron Fox. And that's where I thought they missed him the most. When the offensive struggling, when the threes aren't falling, you can at least count on De'Aaron to get downhill and get into the paint and get to the foul line. And they didn't have that. Who's that guy that can do that? Nobody on this team can finish like De'Aaron around the basket, from 5-foot floater range and things like that. And so I think that's where they miss him the most. I think they have to be true to their identity, and this is a 3-point shooting team. And so I have no problem with the 41 threes taken the other night.
That's one of the reasons why I was so frustrated, as everybody was that cares about the Kings, when they lost the game to the Warriors, because I was without De'Aaron Fox. And we've seen this in sports. Sometimes a team, and it happens in different sports, you have your best player or one of your best players, in this case, clearly your best player, and he's out. At first, you don't feel it as much sometimes.
Yeah.
They had a chance to get that one. And now I think, the longer they play without him, and hopefully it's not long, but we'll see, I think there's a chance that it gets tougher and tougher. I mean, the second half, when they scored, 36 points in the second half.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons for that. But missing De'Aaron Fox is a huge one. I want to ask you about this because you mentioned that they were tired and they looked flat. I mean, I know Houston has a lot of really young athletic players, but I was a little bit stunned at times by how much more athletic the Rockets looked, and hopefully some of that was because the Kings just came in kind of lethargic.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a big part of it. But this Houston roster, it's a much better roster than it was a season ago. When you look at it, Dillon Brooks is a player. All his antics, things like that, he's a gamer. Jabari Smith Jr., there's a reason why he is a top 5 pick in the NBA. This guy, he really came on during Summer League as well. Alperen Şengün, we know how good he is. Jalen Green, G League Ignite, guy that played high school ball in Napa. I mean, they got some talent, and Fred VanVleet is a champ, a guy, that can get you 20 to 25 a night. And so this Houston team, they're young, they're hungry. They sort of have a chip on their shoulder too. Like when I was watching that game the other night, I hate to use this word, but they were trying to punk the Kings, Dillon Brooks, especially Jayshawn Tate, also, like they were, we talk about physicality. They took it to Sacramento. And, what we saw, I thought the other night, sure, the tired legs and everything, more resembled the Kings team from a couple of years ago. I didn't see a whole lot of fight and comeback in this. And I talked to Mike Brown after the game about this. You take that 64-63 lead, I think it was, and then the Rockets go on a 7-0 run. And, you're only down by 1, I believe it was, or 3, going into the fourth quarter. Like, that's the time you want to see the fight from the guys. All right, guys, we're not playing well, but we're still right in this. And then you get outscored 36-21 in the fourth quarter. And so, when you don't have a De'Aaron Fox, who's that guy in the fourth quarter that's going to motivate you? He says it has to be a collective. It has to be a group effort. Everybody has to try and make plays in the fourth. But, man, they missed De'Aaron in that fourth period the other night.
That's why I think this game is so pivotal for the Kings. I think it comes down to coach sending a message to them, asking something of them, demanding something of them starting tonight. It was clear after the last game, and as you said, as fans, it's early in the year, so no reason to get too agitated about 2 and 3. But when the coach says, that's not acceptable, then you better see something, especially in the next game when you're playing the same team. Right. And they made a point of, as you say, however you want to phrase it, trying to punk you, and they did. So how do the Kings respond tonight? I'm not saying it necessarily will dictate how their season goes, but it's going to have a lot to do with their relationship with their coach and how he decides to handle this team going forward. I'd hate to see Mike Brown as disappointed at the end of this game as he was at the end of that game. I would guess that there may be some changes of some kind if we're in that situation at the end of this game.
Yeah, I think so, because the West, every game is important. You lose 2 or 3, 4 in a row. And I mean, look at it right now. What are they? 13th, I think, in the West, 14th, something like that. Only Memphis is behind them. And so, you don't want to dig yourself too much of a hole. Clearly, De'Aaron Fox is out. You should still be able to beat this team. No offense to Houston. Hard-nosed team, plays tough, but you should still be able to get a win. You played so great the other night against Golden State, and then you lay an egg out here tonight. And so I need to see a pulse from my guys out here tonight. I thought at times they looked shell-shocked. I mentioned the word punk. Like, you got to fight back, and so where's the diving for the loose balls? Where's the, crashing the boards and locking guys up? And I just felt like Dillon Brooks and VanVleet, they were allowed to do whatever they wanted. Jabari Smith Jr., I mean, he dominated in that game. He set the tone, finishing with 21. He just got a better compete level tonight, Whitey.
Right.
That's what I want to see.
Let's go.
Come on, man.
From CK916 in the chat, maybe the Kings should have the 3-point line measured before their game tonight. Clearly, that's the issue. Yeah, like it happened in Denver. So maybe that's part of the problem with the Kings. The 3-point line is out of whack. Maybe it's worth checking. I don't know what else to do about that. I'm concerned about Kevin Huerter in this regard. Kyle, the Kings got off to a really bad start in the last game. And, what difference does it make if you start a guy or not? It's more about the minutes. But if he's starting and, of course, Keegan's starting and they're not making shots, it's really hard not to get off to a slow start sometimes.
Yeah, you're 100% right, because especially with De'Aaron Fox out. Like with De'Aaron Fox out and Davion starting, you need Kevin Huerter's offense, right? He has to give you something offensively. You know, he played close to 16 minutes the other night, finished with 4 points, just 2 of 8. Like when you have a starting 5, you know, when you look at it, you could argue Kevin Huerter is the third option, you know,
right?
Him and Harrison Barnes.
Right.
And so you need something from him. And if he's not giving you anything, if you're Mike Brown, where do you turn to? Maybe you give him a quick hook again and bring Malik in. I'd like to see some more minutes with Davion and Malik together. You know, we've talked a lot about Malik being that third point guard or whatever, which is nice, but I want to see Malik off the ball a little with Davion. And so it's something to watch for. Keep an eye on Kevin Huerter's minutes tonight. Like I said, 15 and change. He played close to 16. If he gets off to another slow start, it might be a quick hook for him tonight.
Yeah, I think Chris Duarte has a golden opportunity if he can make a few more shots.
Right.
If Huerter starts making his shots, that's his job. But if he doesn't, Duarte has an opportunity. When we come right back, a lot of fans, I think, are a lot more down on Davion Mitchell than you and I are, Kyle. We'll look at that when we come right back here. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective. A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Kyle Drapes in Houston. He's got the call tonight, NBC Sports California. Whitey Gleason in Sacramento. And Kyle, look who's joining us. We're taking you up to game night featuring the one and only Henry Turner, the high flyer.
What's up, high flyer? What's up, baby? What's going on?
56. Okay, there we go. Drapes, what's up, man? You gonna left your boy. You out there jet set, man. What's going on?
I'm in H-Town, man. I started the show. I'm hanging with Bun B and all those guys down here, man. Travis Scott, all of them, man. We out in these streets, man.
Bro. I tell you what, I'm old school, man. You got to put me in your luggage next time, man, so I can hang with the ghetto boys.
Oh, what you know about that? What you know about that? Okay. Nah, man, great time down here in Houston. Actually golfed yesterday, hit the links yesterday.
What'd you shoot?
By the pool today.
What'd you
grinding,
shoot,
man?
What'd you shoot? You mentioned golf.
Dude, when you play the way I play, you don't keep score. You guys ever play golf and like by hole 10, 11, 12, you're like, forget the scorecard. I'm just working on a few things. That's what happened yesterday.
Hey, I tell you what, man, you better get them boys right and come up out of there with a win. That's all I know.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna talk to coach and be like, let me give the pregame speech because these boys. I said it to start the show. High flyer. What we saw Saturday, unacceptable to me.
No doubt.
Unacceptable.
No
if
doubt.
we're trying to be that team we want to be, that can't happen. And so we'll see how they respond tonight.
Let me tell you where I'm at with this. Watching this team right now, and then I was listening to you guys on the drive in. Right now, the Sacramento Kings are a one-trick pony. They shooting threes. They living
and they're not making them
with the threes. Exactly. So what do you do when you're a one-trick pony, but that trick ain't coming off?
Try another trick, Henry.
Exactly. You guys talked about, well, we don't have the mid-range game. You better find a mid-range game. You better find another way to score the basketball. You better find a way to get deflections, get steals, get out into transition, get easy baskets, get easy looks, because the looks you're getting, they're good, but you're not hitting them. Okay, right. Every basketball team goes through that, but they find other ways. Once again, let your defense dictate your offense. If you can't knock down the regular shots, you have to find a way. We're talking about the Houston Rockets here, fellas.
I know.
And I'm like KD. No shade to Ime. I love the way the dude coach. I don't care what he does off the floor. He's a hell of a basketball coach, and he can get the most out of his guys. He has talent down there, but they're not Sacramento King talent.
Right. What if you were a Kings player tonight, based on what Mike Brown said after the game? What do you think your coach needs to see from your team tonight? Or there may be changes?
By any means necessary. Yeah. Whatever it takes to win this game. You know, I always say, it ain't no fun when the rabbit gets the gun. Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is that the Houston Rockets just came off a great win against the Sacramento Kings. They didn't give those guys confidence. Now you're fighting an uphill battle. You're just not fighting a regular fight. Those guys really think that they can beat you. So now you got to come out and do something extra, and you on their home floor.
Let me chime in here though, High Flyer, because this is I hear everything you're saying. Usually what happens, you talk about a one-trick pony. If the offense isn't flowing, the shots aren't falling, you know what? We could turn to De'Aaron Fox. Or the Lakers can say, LeBron, get us a bucket. Or the Celtics can say, Tatum, put us on your back. We don't have that guy with De'Aaron Fox out there. And that's what they're missing right now. When the offense isn't flowing, who's going to say, I got you, boys. We're going to get a bucket right here.
Okay, KD, let me give it to you like this. Let me give it to you raw, dog, straight out with a spoon. All right. Now, you don't have De'Aaron Fox. Now you get to see what life is like when you have injuries. The Kings were injury-free last year. Everything went great. Well, okay, you know what? That's a very unusual season for an NBA squad. You're going to have some injuries where your main guys aren't playing. But I'll tell you what, when De'Aaron Fox isn't on the floor, you can't have Harrison Barnes play 31 minutes and shoot the ball only 7 times, okay? You can't have Keegan Murray only shoot the ball 12 times. Sabonis, your number 2, who happened to shoot 50%, but he only shot the ball
take more shots.
10 times.
Take more shots.
I'm sorry. Those guys, I'd rather see you go 2 for 20 than to go 2 for 4, 2 for 6.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to, De'Aaron's out. Everybody else has to give a little bit extra. And I will say this. I will go far as to say this. In a certain situation, Malik Monk needs to be on that floor. I'm sorry. I know you love Malik coming off the bench, but right now we need somebody to have some firepower, somebody who can facilitate and dish. Starting. I would start Malik
over who? Over who?
I'm sorry. Davion going to the bench. I'm sorry.
Come on, you blaming Davion. It's not.
No,
Davion.
I didn't. Wait.
He
didn't blame anybody. I didn't blame Davion.
We're talking a different game.
Hey, I didn't blame.
Keegan Murray makes shots. We're talking a different game.
You know what? Hey, I'll tell you what. If my auntie had a beard, she'd be my uncle. We can stop all of that. At the end of the day, I'm talking about what we need. And Malik Monk gets those guys going. He's the only facilitator you got. You was just talking about who's that guy that can get downhill. De'Aaron's in here. The second best dude that gets down the hill, Malik Monk. He needs to start tonight. I'm sorry.
Isn't the problem whether he starts or not? He's only, he doesn't play as many minutes as De'Aaron Fox can. He can't. So whether you start him or not, you only have him 30 minutes. So to me, that's the issue. Is figuring out where his 30 minutes for. Isn't that what he played? 26 something. Where those minutes are best served. Where they help you the most.
He played 25 minutes. I tell you what. Why don't you use Malik early on to see if you can get these guys going? Because like I said, he helps other guys get going instead of having somebody that's got to come off the bench and try to get a Herculean effort to get you back in the game.
He and JaVale McGee got it going, though.
Him and Sabonis, too. He hits Sabonis with that pocket pass all the time. I'm sorry, man. You miss a De'Aaron Fox. You have to find something. And I'm not blaming nothing on Davion Mitchell. You can play those guys the exact same minutes, but just flip it.
Okay.
I don't think he's with you on that.
I don't know. You know what? No, I'm not, because I get it. You got to get off to a better start, all that. Kevin Huerter just has to be better.
True.
Kevin Huerter, his shots, we're not having this problem.
True.
And here's the thing, High Flyer, that you're not mentioning. they got great looks. So whether Malik's on the floor or Davion, they were still getting good looks. That's the thing.
At certain points, but at KD, at certain points, I saw a whole lot of standing around. That offense was very stagnant. And once again, when you start getting a little contribution, it was when Malik Monk came off the bench and he was able to get to the basket or hit JaVale McGee or hit Sabonis. That's what I'm saying.
What about Kobe Jones?
I like Kobe Jones. I like Kobe Jones. But he's still a rookie. He's still trying to find his way.
Right.
Like I said, Kevin Huerter, Duarte, we need more out of both of them.
Yes.
And you know what? And we ain't even said nothing about Sasha. Sasha gave us nothing.
I was just going to ask you about, they were expecting more out of him, and it's early in the year he just got here, but Fox is hurt, and I tell you what, him now.
And missing Trey big time.
Yeah.
Because Trey is another guy that knocks down shots, and he's smart with his, because sometimes he'll elect the pump fake and drive to the basket and get fouled.
In your day when you were playing, what would you guys do about a guy like Dillon Brooks blowing kisses to the bench?
I tell you, see, I would have dealt with Dillon. Oh, yeah. See, I would have dealt with Dillon. See, I was the guy that was coming off the bench, and I had 6 hard fouls to give, and I'm using all of them. I mean, hey, I can tell you, it was funny, man. I remember when I was playing for Jerry Reynolds, and that was my thing. I would come in, and if I wasn't scoring, I'm definitely using all of my fouls. I remember one time I came out and Jerry said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "You only use 5. You got one more foul. Get back out there." Yeah, you got one more foul to use. Get back out there.
That's awesome.
But believe me, hard, strong fouls. Ain't no way you're going to be blowing kisses at my bench. I'm taking that personal, and I'm taking it from the very jump.
Yeah. Well, you can't do what you can't play as physically
No.
as guys played then. So you have to win tonight. That's got to be your answer.
End all, be all, don't care how you do it, how you manufacture it. If you win it at the free throw line, you better win this game tonight, because it's setting not just a tone to Houston, it's setting a tone to the league.
Yes.
How many people right now are jumping off the bandwagon saying, "See, I told you.
Yeah.
See, I told you."
You're right.
If you want to keep that respect, you better win this game tonight.
Are they in the
100%.
process of figuring out what their truest identity is? Last year we knew they were an offensive-minded team. Their coach wanted to play better defense. Sometimes they did, but they were offense first, and they were phenomenal. I don't know what they are right now. It doesn't matter what I think, but I don't think they know what they are.
They know who they are. They know what they do well. The problem is right now, they are getting a chance to see adversity. They didn't see that last year. This team is starting to see some adversity. Everything don't always go hunky-dory all the way through the season. So now your number one guy is out. But you have to learn how to win without that guy. The same way Memphis did without Ja. If you're going to be a good basketball team, you have to learn how to win no matter what.
You know what's interesting, though? We're 5 games in. The team is 2-3. And we're wondering what's wrong with the squad. We're talking about must wins.
Right.
That's how far this organization has come in a short time. I'm glad we're having these talks, because if we were 2-3 a few years ago, nobody would be up in arms
At all. Everybody would be happy.
2-3 and you lose at Houston. It's like, hold on now, what's going on? We got to fix this. And so I do like that.
I do too, KD, because you know what? It's a team that's saying, okay, let's hurry up and correct this ship. Every basketball team goes through their ups and downs, the lows, the ebbs and flows. It's a roller coaster ride. We know that. But if you go through it early, figure a way out, because I tell you what, it might be a few more games to where De'Aaron Fox don't play. So you better figure this thing out early.
High Flyer, thanks for jumping in. Kyle, great job. Have a great call. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Guys.
Yeah, and stick around, because we've got Game Night, Scott Marsh, and the High Flyer, Henry Turner, next right here on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Expect rain showers into the afternoon, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. It'll be breezy and cooler with highs in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is the best place to go all in and all out. Go all in at our table games, then go all out to win on the area's only 3-story indoor kart track. Or go all in for our famous award-winning buffet. Then go all out at our state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and beautiful resort hotel, you can go all in for fun and all out for comfort. We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Cooler temperatures mean it's time to reduce your outdoor water use. Water 1 day per week on Saturday or Sunday from November 1st through February 29th. Learn more about your home's watering schedule at sacwaterwise.com.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Can we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. It's time for game night, getting you ready for Sacramento Kings basketball.
He's got the bucket.
Game night is presented by Power Business Technology, your locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or visit them at powercopiers.com. Here's your host, Scott Marsh, alongside the high flyer, Henry Turner.
And a very pleasant good afternoon to you. Welcome into game night right here, Sactown Sports, 1140. Scott Marsh along with the high flyer, Henry Turner. We'll take you until 4:30 today. Kings and Rockets, part 2. Hopefully it's not deja vu, because on Saturday, certainly not a part 1 act we want to see from the Kings, going down 107-89. They got down 17 in the first half. They came back, actually took a lead only to lay an egg in the fourth quarter. We'll take your phone calls at 1-800-920-1140. We're up and running in the Sactown Sports chat room as well. Go on the YouTube, log on to Sactown Sports. You can watch this program right there as well, and we'll have exclusive content during the commercial breaks as well. Henry, I wasn't here on Saturday. I can't take the blame for it. So what happened?
Laid an egg.
Yeah.
A huge one. Laid a huge egg. You know, at the end of the day, Scott, this basketball team is really going to have to turn this around. I mean, it's not doom and gloom for me. Not at all. I mean, we haven't even played 10 games yet. But it's just the way they're starting out playing basketball. You know, you don't want this thing to start lingering how they're playing. You know, the Kings are shooting the ball atrocious. Yeah. I mean, the three ball is just not there for them. You know, I don't even think the pace that they like to play at is there.
No.
You know, I think they're playing too slow. And with that playing too slow, not being able to get out and get transition buckets, come on, man, the Kings had 2 fast break points. We're talking about the number 1 offense in the NBA last year and the number 1 pace last year, and you only have two transition buckets?
That's not Sacramento Kings basketball. We know that.
No, it's not.
It is not even close. The old adage is offense affects defense, right? So in other words, you don't make some shots, it hurts you on the defensive end. I'm wondering if we reverse it with this year's Kings, is the defense affecting the offense?
I don't think so. I mean, Scott, I've heard a lot of people say, well, they're paying too much attention to the defensive side. I don't buy that. Okay. You know, I'm old school. I don't buy that. You know, at the end of the day, I was always taught that if your offense isn't falling, let your defense jumpstart your offense, because you get deflections, you get rebounds, you get stops, you get out in transition, and then you get easy baskets. Then your offense starts clicking. But then again, another thing, what we do is that even if our defense is good, we get deflections, we get out in transition, we don't drive to the basket, we flare out to the three-point line, and then once again, the three-point shot isn't falling. So it's kind of like you're shooting yourself in the heel.
There's no question about that. Now, obviously, if Klay Thompson doesn't hit a game winner in Golden State, we're 3-2. We might be having a slightly different conversation at the moment.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Same conversation?
Yeah, because we lost to the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
You know, I honestly think the Kings are a much better team. Even without De'Aaron Fox and without Trey, I still think the Kings is a much better team than Houston. It's the way they lost. It's not like, okay, well, you know, you lost to the Houston Rockets. Yeah. It's the way they lost.
Yeah. And it wasn't on a back-to-back or anything else.
None of
2
that.
days off, all that stuff. Yeah. No, it's hard to explain. Definitely is. And certainly the shooting numbers have been very poor. They're 32.5% from beyond the arc. They're only 43% on twos right now. That's hard to figure out. And obviously, individually, Kevin Huerter is continuing to slump. Malik Monk is off to a slow start. Keegan Murray, especially.
I think Malik is playing decent.
Okay.
I really do.
We'll take him out of it.
You know,
Let's say Huerter and certainly Keegan have been struggling.
No doubt. Harrison Barnes is still up and down. You know, Harrison Barnes, his shooting really doesn't show in the stats. You know, he shot 3 for 7.
Yep.
All right. One more basket, you're over 50%. That's not bad. The problem is you only shot 7 times.
Exactly.
That's the problem. Same thing with Sabonis. He shot 5 for 10.
Yep.
The problem is you only shot 10 times. We're talking about De'Aaron Fox isn't on the floor. We need Harrison to take at least 17 shots. I don't care if Sabonis shoots 20 times. Same thing with Keegan Murray. If you shoot the ball 20 times, we need you guys to do something extra.
Agreed. And I say this in jest, but Harrison Barnes is the best opening night player in the NBA. I mean, last year he starts off with a huge game to start the year. He had the huge first half to start this year, but he's kind of falling back into a pattern of what we saw last year. And that was our complaint with Harrison Barnes.
To where certain games, he just floats out there. And like I said, I love Harrison Barnes' game, and I know what he can bring. In certain instances, now, tonight, if he don't step up tonight and at least give me 16 attempts, I'll be very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Looking at what happened last game, how many attempts he took, and in understanding he is our number 2 guy right now. Sabonis is 1, Harrison Barnes is 2, and Keegan is right there.
Yep. And let's break down Keegan a little bit. Obviously, he was 3 of 12. He was just 1 of 8 from distance, off to a slow start. I think everybody's expectations was so high. We commented about what he did in that brief 2-game Summer League series here. We heard the scout say he thinks Keegan has made the most improvement from year 1 to year 2 since Kawhi Leonard. So the hype amongst us, huge. Again, 5 games is not a story make, but he is off to a slow start.
He is. He's not shooting the ball well. Up until last game, he had been rebounding the basketball. He's been defending better. His shot just isn't dropping. And we're talking about a second-year player.
Yep.
Okay, you know what? I will still give him some wiggle room. He's a second-year player. He's still learning. But some of these other players who are professionals, who have been in this league for a long time, who has been professionals for a long time, Sasha, where's he at?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't see him nowhere. We need something extra out of you. All of these guys have to understand, Scott, is that last year was an anomaly.
Yeah.
They didn't see no injuries. They went through no adversity. Everybody, and the adversity that they did go through, they still had everybody at disposal on the roster. Well, this year seems like it's going to be a regular year. Your number 1 guy is down for a minute.
Yeah.
You have to find a way how to win when some of your guys aren't at your disposal.
No question. And we know De'Aaron, obviously you miss him. It's huge.
Yes.
Not having Trey Lyles, obviously that's been big too. It has been.
Big. Trey Lyles was a huge part of the winnings that
And
the
a
Sacramento
great outside shooter.
And his basketball IQ is high too, Scott, because I've seen a lot of times when Trey elected not to take the 3, put the ball on the floor, drive to the basket, and get fouled and get to the free throw line. There's other ways to score besides just standing behind that line, letting it go, and understanding that, okay, tonight it isn't dropping. Let's find another way.
No doubt. And Keegan, as we said, is just 25% from distance. He's 11 of 44 on the year. Maybe it just comes down to just making some shots and things turn around. We'll see with this Kings team. I think the toughest thing for all of us to watch, despite the Kings, which we're focusing on because it's a Kings situation, but having to watch Dillon Brooks wave to the Kings bench. Dillon Brooks of all people, right? You just, that's something that just doesn't sit well. And I hope it doesn't sit well with the Kings players tonight. That's something I want them to respond to.
You know what? You need one guy. And we talk about this all the time. Every good squad has that one guy. All right. Dillon Brooks is their guy. The Kings need to have one guy that really go out there and touch Dillon Brooks up. I'm not saying be dirty, but I'm saying be physical with him.
Let him know it's not acceptable to look back at the bench like that.
I think, Trey might be that guy. You got to have somebody that has a little nasty.
Maybe JaVale McGee. I know from a position standpoint.
But see, you have to have a guard with you because let's say, for example, put me on Dillon.
Yep.
Even if I'm a nice guy, I'm like this, big fella.
Yeah.
I'm sending him baseline, and when he get up in the air, you touch him up.
Yep.
Because you know what? You like being physical. You got 2 fouls to give him. Touch him up, and I'm gonna give him 2 fouls out here too. It's the game within the game, Scott. Yeah. You got to understand because he does the exact same thing.
Of course he does.
On the other end.
No doubt. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And give him credit. He's a physical player.
He's going to get up into you. He's going to play you real physical. And the other kid too. What's the other kid's name? Small forward.
You're talking about Jabari Smith?
No. The other small forward, short one. The short one plays very physical. Go down there the roster.
It's not Sengun. You're talking about Jalen Green?
No, not Jalen Green.
Not you're talking about Van Vliet.
No,
not talking about Sengun.
Nope. He comes off the bench.
Sure. Okay. Let's see here. Tate. Okay.
Tate.
There we go. Ding, 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 ding.
Plays very physical, going to get up into you. He's going to make you feel him. And when you don't react, I can be physical as I want, and he don't react.
Yeah.
Now it's really on.
No doubt. Well, obviously, Houston's feeling a little momentum after what happened on Saturday. It's one of these weird road, same city trips for the Kings with a day in between. Let's see how they respond tonight. Obviously, there's no such thing as a must win in Game 6. That's ridiculous to say, but we do want to see the Kings rebound tonight and show something.
No, it's not a must win, but it's one of those things to where to save morale. in the end-all be-all scheme, if you lose tonight, you don't toss your season at all.
Of course not.
But as far as trying to be the team you want to be, you're trying to set the standard. You can't let teams like this do what they did to you the last game. Last game was definitely an embarrassment. The Kings are going to have to respond. They're going to have to come out and play much better basketball. And if you want to keep the respect that you've worked so hard to deserve, you have to beat these type teams.
There's no doubt about it. Now, having said all of that, I think Houston is a better team from a year ago just because of their backcourt with Brooks and Van Vliet. This is a much more experienced, mature team.
And not just that. Number one, let's start at the top. Their coach. You can say what you want about Ime off the floor. The dude's a very good coach, and he gets the best from his players. He's got these guys playing at a higher level. They're a better basketball team, but they're not a better basketball team than what the Sacramento Kings have, okay? And you can't let that team just come in and just run over you. I understand you're on their home floor. It's not going to be an easy game, but you can't let those guys just come in and do what they did the other night.
Absolutely not. All right, game night is underway. We're with you until 4:30. Feel free to give us a call, 1-800-920-1140. Scott Marsh and the High Flyer Henry Turner right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
All righty.
Kyle, I've got to run for a minute, so I'll let you guys chat it up in the room here.
Sounds good to me. Henry, before we were off air, but we were talking about you putting shot limits on games back when you were playing. They said you're a 6-shot a game guy.
Oh, yeah.
At this point. So I was looking up Keegan Murray's stats while you guys were talking about it. If you had to guess, in 5 games, how many 3-pointers do you think Keegan Murray has taken this season?
Wow. In the 5 games?
In 5 games, how many has he attempted?
I would pretty much say Keegan probably attempted at least 5 a game.
So you're thinking like 25, 26?
Yep, or higher, or plus.
44.
Yeah.
He's taken 44 3-pointers this season. He's made 11, which that's about just under 9 a game. So I thought that was funny compared to having a 6-shot limit back when you were playing. And he's taken 9 threes, and we want him to take 9 threes.
And you know what? I mean, but don't get it twisted. Today's game is totally different than when we played. I mean, our games ended in the 80s and the 90s. We didn't have this type of high-powered octane offense to where you just come down and shoot. No, we didn't play basketball this way. The game has totally changed. I wish I could have played in this era, to be able to just shoot the ball whenever you get ready. But what I'm saying is that's what the Kings do. They want to shoot at least 45 threes a game. Understandably, that's how they play. And I don't mind that. I want guys to shoot the ball more. Keegan Murray only shot 12 times. Keegan has to shoot at least 16 to 18 times while De'Aaron's out. Same thing with Sabonis. Sabonis has to shoot 18 to 20 times. Harrison Barnes has to shoot the ball 18 to 20 times. Those guys have to be more aggressive on the offensive end. It seemed like, they were waiting for fourth quarter Fox to show up, and he never did.
Yeah, I get that. And for Keegan, the last couple games without Fox, it feels like he has been more of a spot-up shooter. So do you want to see him maybe driving more with some backdoor cuts? What are you thinking for Keegan tonight?
I don't care what type of shots you take. I just want you to be aggressive. If you're taking the 3-point shot and the 3-point shots are, let's say if you take 4 3-pointers and you go 0 for 4, well, you know what? Think basketball, son. You might want to put the ball on the ground and try to get to the basket, score some layups, get fouled, go to the free throw line, watch the ball go through a couple of times like that, instead of electing to just stay behind the line and just catch and shoot.
And that's especially true when you're shooting 1 for 15 in the last 2 games. Maybe you just got to kind of mix it up a little bit because you still want him to take that many shots. We're coming back in 10 seconds. So, we had some Keegan Murray talk in the break.
Fantastic. Welcome back into Game Night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Game Night is always brought to you by the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento. If you have a heart of service, you want to do something good in our Sacramento community, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, consider it. There's lots of children aged 7 to 18 being raised by a single parent. They need mentors. You could be that person. Call 916-646-9300 or visit bbbs-sac.org to learn about how to become a volunteer mentor. All right, Scott Marsh, High Flyer, with you during the break. Some good discussion in our Sactown Sports YouTube chat room on Keegan Murray. And I think the thing we want to see, Henry, I think the point you and Kyle were making is, okay, you're not hitting threes. That's fine. But we've talked about the progression of Keegan's game. Take it inside, be aggressive, do all the other things. If you're going to be 3 of 12, don't have 2 rebounds and 1 assist.
No, rebound. He's definitely got to rebound the basketball more. On the assist side, that's going to be kind of tough too, Scott, because in a situation to where you don't have De'Aaron Fox, I want Keegan Murray to be aggressive. What I'm saying is that just don't stand outside and let it go from 3. Your game is so much more improved that you can get downhill. You can utilize your size, your ball handling. You can go in and create contact. Go to the free throw line. Watch the ball go through a little bit from the free throw line. You just don't understand how much of a, just an uplift you get when you watch that ball go through the net from the free throw line. Now you can step back behind the 3 and start letting it go some more. But just don't stand out behind the line and just let it go, let it go, let it go. You live and die by the 3. No, you're too good of a basketball player to do that.
Absolutely. And as for Sabonis, he starts the season off with the record for most consecutive double-doubles to start the year. That sounds great. But if you look at the stats a little bit more in depth from Saturday, he's got basically 11 points and 15 rebounds, 12 on the defensive end. That's fine. I guess my total point is what I'm trying to say is that the double-double today, because there's so many possessions, everything else, I'm not saying it's a meaningless stat. It certainly means something, but I don't think it means as much as it used to.
When you're talking about a game that you're trying to win without your number 1 superstar on the floor, the double-double means absolutely nothing.
Thank
Scott.
you. That's a better way of saying it. Yes.
You can't.
That's what I wanted to say.
When you are the alpha now, Sabonis is the number 1. You're the guy. You shoot 10 times, 5 for 10, 50%. That's great. But the 10 times is the problem. You have to shoot at least give me 10 for 20. You're going to have that. The same thing with Harrison Barnes. I've called him out. The 3 for 7 isn't a travesty. The 7 is where the problem is. Yeah. There's no way. He's got at least 3 guys coming off the bench that shot the ball more than him, and he played a total of 30-plus minutes. Unacceptable.
Yep, agreed. And I think the thing, too, of course, right now, the Kings are kind of in that stretch of schedule where they got Houston twice. They have Portland coming in on Wednesday. It's a softer part of the schedule, right? And I know it's early in the year, but still.
Stop that. Don't give me that softer part of the schedule, Scott.
Well, I mean, these are games the Kings should win, right? We're talking about Houston. We're talking about Portland on Wednesday.
But nothing soft.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you just can't walk into a game and say you're going to win.
You got to go out and you have to play every game. You know me, Scooter.
Of course.
I don't look past no team. I understand you think you're better than a team, but I do know this. On any given night, you can get beat.
No question. And we saw the Grizz last night barely beating Portland to get their first win, and that took overtime for them to get that. So we will get a look at Portland on Wednesday. OKC comes in on Friday night. Now the Thunder's a team that's much improved.
Hey, okay,
that's a good team.
OKC look good.
They do.
Of course they got Shea. Shea's the number 1 solidified all-star. I'll tell you what, Chet is a freak.
Mm-hmm. He can play. Webb's getting all the attention, but Chet.
Hey, he right up under him.
Yeah.
Have you seen the way that dude plays?
Oh, he's awesome.
And he gets to the basket.
Yeah.
I mean, to be 7 foot and to do the things that he does, he don't play. When he gets a little man on him, he take him straight to the rack.
No question.
I like that mindset.
I do too. There's never been an NBA, and I know Chet was a rookie last year, but he's going to be a rookie this year because of the injury. There's never been a 1-2 rookie punch like Wembanyama
at
and
all.
Chet Holmgren.
At all. You put both of those guys on the same team with the length and the way they're able to handle the ball and do what they do. Would be crazy, wouldn't it?
No doubt. And of course, Friday night's game is one of the new games in terms of the Cup series, right? So, what did you think about the arena looks that we've seen, the court looks across the NBA now?
I like the overall look. Mm-hmm. Some of the colors is like, whoa! It's hard to watch on television. It's very hard to watch. I seen a blue the other night on the floor, and I was like, I know the players are like cringing their eyes every time the light hits that blue, but the overall design of the courts, I like them.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different. I didn't know how I would feel about the play-in tournament. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it, actually.
You know what? I'm like everybody else. I have to see, you know, as long as the players stay engaged, I think the good thing about the play-in tournament is that the games they play counts towards your regular season.
Yeah.
So that'll keep guys engaged. I think it'll turn up to another level once they hit Vegas.
Definitely. Once they get to the final 8, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be certainly interesting to see. And Friday night will be a play-in game, and we'll see what the Kings play-in court looks like too.
Oh, I like the court.
Yeah.
I like, come on, man, it's blue, bro. It takes me back to my day. You know I like that blue.
Those are still the best uniforms. I don't care what anybody says.
For sure.
Those are the uniforms I think of with the Retro Kings. There's no doubt about that one. Obviously, Davian Mitchell filling in for De'Aaron Fox. Just in terms of the whole starting unit, but I know you're big about who finishes versus who starts. But right now with Herter struggling, a lot of talks of maybe him coming off the bench. Davian hasn't been great like we saw, you know, at times when De'Aaron missed games last season. Do you shake up the starting 5 until De'Aaron gets back?
I would. I mean, I'm high on Malik right now because when I look at what he brings to this basketball team, I think he's the only guard on our team that helps facilitate for others. And when you're missing your number one, you need those others. Those others are the ones that's going to keep you in the game and going to help you win. So with him being able to do that, I think that's exactly what the Kings need. You're going to have to manufacture some points out of some guys that you might not usually get when you have De'Aaron on the floor. Yeah. So that's why I say Malik Monk needs to start and be out there and set the tone.
I like that call too, because he's the best playmaker of anybody on the floor.
That's what I'm saying. He gets the most out of Sabonis.
Yes. He
gets the most out of JaVale McGee.
Yes.
He drives and he kicks. And he's equally as able to get downhill and score himself when he takes it all the way to the rack.
Yeah, absolutely. As for Herter, we saw that bright moment against the Lakers, the 3-pointer in the overtime session that put the game out of reach. He's still struggling. What do you see as the light at the end of the tunnel for him?
Scott, it's not just Kevin Herter. It's the shooting of the Kings as a whole. And this basketball team cannot elect to take on the mantra of if the shot isn't falling, it's doom and gloom. They're too good of a basketball team to just rely on a 3-point shot. Every last one of those guys can do something different and help this team win a game. You just got to find that. If the shot isn't falling, don't live and die by the 3. You're not trying to die out there. You only have 3 lives in Call of Duty. You only got 3 more lives left. You got to hold on to those. Find a way to win.
I like it. All right. You're getting compliments in the chat. People are liking where you're going. Arthur throws this out. We'll go back to this defense versus offense thing. Your opinion. Murray seems to be kind of using his energy playing D this season with his bigger role. And I'm sure when Lyles comes back, that might just help him out not to have to extend energy so much, especially along with De'Aaron going out. Any buy into that at all?
I don't. I'm sorry, Scott.
Okay.
I'm old.
Well, you're going to start not being loved so much.
No. I'm saying I'm old school, Scott. I mean, the thing about it is that let's say this: did Phil Jackson ever ask Michael Jordan to tone it down on the defensive side?
I doubt it.
No. You know, did Scottie Pippen ever tone it down on the offensive side because it was affecting his offense?
No. You're right.
You can't be that one trick pony. You know what? That's why we say two-way players. You know, for me, everybody in the NBA should be a two-way player. You play offense and you play defense. It's not like football the way you say, hey, man, I'm a defensive player. I only play one side of the ball. No, you have to play both sides of the ball. And I'm sorry, in today's game where everybody shoots the ball, everybody stretches the 3, everybody can handle, you have to be able to defend. So with that being said, you better be able to defend and still be able to give your numbers on the offensive end.
Yep, all agreed. All right, when we come back, we'll go around the league. We'll look at the games on tap today. We'll go back last night. KD making history last night. We'll tell you all about that as well. Game night being brought to you by National Garage Door. Call today for your basketball special, 916-638-4554. More of Game Night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
All right. We are still live on YouTube.
What do we got, Kyle? I saw Arthur. I read his comment out. What else do we got?
Yeah, well, the conversation about no easy opponents in Portland on Wednesday led to us talking about how bad Portland is going to be this year, because
Portland's pretty. Although Shaden Sharp is going to be a superstar, he's a good player.
Yeah. I mean, I think they saw that in him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the only way you have to really let Dame go.
Mm-hmm.
You have to see something in some of your young guys and say, okay, this is going to be our future. That young man can play.
He can really play, and he's getting a chance to shine right now. And I mean, Jeremy Grant's a good player too, and we'll see what happens, with Scooter Henderson, but he should be good. But there's not a lot there with the Trailblazers.
No, and you know what? I think DeAndre Ayton might find himself.
Mm-hmm.
He might come into his own because Scooter, we talk about it all the time. Your first 2, sometimes 3 stops in the NBA might not be the spot for you. And once you hit that 4th spot, it works, it clicks. So I think DeAndre Ayton probably will find his way.
All right, we'll see.
We'll see. Their 2 best players are 19 and 20 this year, so they are working through the rebuild of rebuilds. And you know what? Maybe they'll get one more young player in the mix there too.
I guess, but they're still waiting for a lottery pick, basically.
And I think they're fine with that.
Yeah. Oh, they have to be.
They
right?
are definitely fine with that. But I'll tell you, we say this all the time. No team in the NBA goes over. Portland's going to beat somebody.
Yes.
You just don't want it to be you.
No, exactly not. That is very true. And it was almost Memphis who lost to the Trailblazers last night. Memphis somehow pulling out their first win of the year. Amazingly, the Grizz are 1-6.
The Grizz are going through a lot. I would say physically and emotionally, they're going through a lot.
They are.
Okay, we know about the Ja Morant situation. They're going through a lot with him. I think what's hurting them more so is the loss of Steven Adams, your anchor, your number 1 defensive player, and then your number 2 big man that comes off that gives you block shots and a little more high energy as far as getting up and down. And BC, Brandon Clark, you don't have him either. So you're playing with your third string big man, and that's hurting them big time.
Yeah, now they won last night, 112-100, but it took a 28-2 run at the end of the game to win that game. They were down double digits, and then the last 8 minutes, they came on like gangbusters.
Now, they have some guys who can get it done.
They do.
I mean,
Triple J.
Hey, I like what Bang gives them. They don't play. They can still do some good things, but I think they're missing a lot.
They are. And I just worry as much about them, just the whole culture thing with the Grizz, given what's happened with Ja the last year or so.
For the league, I like that team. I was big on that team last year. I like that team. I just hope that, okay, we know the injury to Steven Adams is something that we just can't project. Same thing with BC. I just hope that Ja Morant comes back and understands who he is and why he's in this league.
Hopefully the message gets across this time.
Yes.
Because it hasn't so far.
Yeah, and right now, if you keep hitting him in the pocket, he definitely going to figure it out real quick.
Yep. So neat cuts. Ready to go?
Oh, that's our guy, Tin. Let me screen him real quick,
right,
but
cool.
he's a good guy.
Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Welcome back into Game Night right here. Sactown Sports, 1140. Scott Marshall with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Getting you ready for Kings and Rockets. Sacramento trying to split this 2-game series on the road. Boy, that would be tough to lose 2 in Houston. We would definitely have a problem if the Kings do not get this win tonight. We'll focus in on the Kings and Rockets in our next segment. Let's go around the league. We'll start with last night. A little history made in Phoenix. Of course, KD leading the way without Beal. Booker didn't play again last night. Kevin Durant went for 41 points. It's his 80th 40-plus point game in his career.
We know KD can put them up.
Yes, he can.
He can definitely score the basketball. One of the very elite players in this league. He's one of those guys that came in the league. I know we was talking about Chet and Webby, but KD was one of those first ones to come in also, 6'10", 7-foot long frame, can play outside, shoot over any guard, and can score whenever he gets ready.
We can. Now, of course, we always say every record you measure it by two standards, the NBA record and then the Wilt Chamberlain standard, right? And it's not even fair to put Wilt in with most of these stats. You want to just take a guess at how many 40-point games Wilt Chamberlain had?
Wilt averaged over 40 at one point,
like
didn't he?
50 in a season.
Yeah, he averaged big time numbers. So, man, I mean, he has to be up there.
He's definitely up there. Looking at the numbers, 271.
Wow. He's number one, right?
Yeah, that's far and away number one. Jordan had 173, Kobe 122. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wilt's standard is crazy.
it is.
I mean, he was definitely a man among boys without the 3-point line.
No question. I mean, you literally have to have a separate NBA book, just non-Wilt and Wilt, right? I mean, you just can't even, it's not even fair because it just basically be Wilt this, Wilt that.
You know, and whenever your name is even in the conversation of Wilt, you've done something pretty spectacular.
It is.
I don't care what they're talking about.
No doubt. Domas was in a Wilt stat last year. I'm trying to remember. It was like games with 30 points and 15 rebounds and shooting 70% from the field or something like that. There's 3 players, and of course, Wilt was one of them. So
whenever they say, you're in pretty good company.
Life is good. So Suns beat the Pistons last night. All right, the Raptors winning in overtime over the Spurs. How about San Antonio? They beat Phoenix twice on the road in Phoenix. They almost get a win at home against the Raptors. Great game. I mean, it took Toronto really coming back. Scotty Barnes played out of his mind, had 30 points in that game. But so far, Wembanyama, the hype has been absolutely insane. And I would have to say he's lived up to the hype. Another 20.9 rebound effort for him. 5 block shots, too.
I mean, he's getting the job done.
He's getting the job done.
He's really getting the job done. And the crazy thing is, okay, right now, to say in the big guy category, he's pretty much by himself. Don't let Pop go out and get another big man to where you could say you can have the Twin Tower situation again. You got David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
You ever see Chet Holmgren on the same team?
Oh, that would be nuts with them 2 dudes on the same team.
Okay, go with me here. I know it's a little bit of crazy talk, but Wembanyama, obviously, if you're taking a team today for the future, he's your number one pick. I think most people would agree with that. Right now, where's Wembanyama in the league in terms of the league grades? Just right now. I mean, limited sample size. I understand all of that, but just what you've seen on the small sample size, where is he in the league now?
Greats or big man? Which one you want to do?
I just say all players in the league. And if you want to go big men first, fine. We'll do that.
I would say big men. Let me go to the big fellas. Okay, you got your top 2. You got Embiid. You got Joker.
Yep, agreed.
You might want to throw Anthony Davis in there as a big man.
Okay.
Do we really want to put Giannis in there as a big man? He floating somewhere in there.
Do you think by the end of the year, Wembanyama is going to get all NBA consideration for one of the teams?
Maybe, depending upon the numbers. I think it's going to be a numbers game with him. But yeah, when you talk about big men, but the problem when you talk about Webby as a big man, he still really plays like a guard. But he's getting a little bit. He's getting it done. Talking about blocking shots and grabbing rebounds. He's getting it done.
He's doing everything. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Let's talk to Tin. Tin, welcome into Game Night. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Scott Marshall. I'm doing good.
Excellent. What's going on?
Excellent. To Henry Turner, I don't think Giannis is a big man. Yeah, he's tall, but to be big, I think you have to have size. Like the hips gotta be wide, like Shaquille O'Neal or Dwight Howard. Big guys. But Giannis, lanky.
But you have to understand in today's game,
it's a different.
There are no more Shaquille O'Neals. There are no more. Dwight Howards. Those guys aren't in. You only got 2 true big men in this league, really. I mean, you might sprinkle 3 or 4 in, but I might be forgetting some. But the ones that we're talking about at very elite players, you got Joker and you got Embiid. That's it.
Tin, you agree?
Yeah, those are big guys.
Yep. All right. Anything else, Tin?
Go Kings.
All right. Go
Sounds
Kings
good.
tonight. Let's split it. Appreciate it. If you want to call in, 1-800-920-1140. We'll be with you until 4:30. Also, last night, the Cavs beat the Warriors. Cleveland's coming in here, too, next week. So we'll get they only look at Cleveland. I like that squad. Donovan, they're playing well. They're getting healthy, and they've got Donovan Mitchell, 31.7 assists. We always have seemingly we've had this conversation now for 2 or 3 years. Donovan Mitchell is an all-star. Is he a superstar in the league? Where is he between all-star and superstar?
I say yes.
Okay.
You know, I'm buying with Donovan and selling. I think Donovan Mitchell probably is one of the most explosive two guards we've seen since Dwayne Wade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they play the exact same way. You know, he is a guy that can definitely change a game.
Yeah.
He can definitely put a team on his back and shoulder them, no problem. So yeah, he's in the superstar realm when you talk about the players.
Yep. All right. How about as we turn our attention to Charlotte, the Hornets lose to the Mavs. By the way, the Mavs are 5-1, which kind of blows me away. You know, they were terrible with Kyrie. They were under 500 when he came over in the second half of the year. They're off to a great start now. Luka doing his thing. Let's just focus on Charlotte first. LaMelo, triple-double, 30, 10 rebounds, 13 assists. Where is LaMelo in terms of all-star becoming in consideration for something better than that? Is he getting to that stage? I mean, boy, he's off to a great start.
All-star, yes. Yes, he's definitely if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, he's doing some things on the court.
He's going to give you all-star numbers.
Yeah.
But when I look at LaMelo, I look at him almost in the same realm as I do with Russell Westbrook.
Really?
On a bad team, you're going to look great.
Okay.
But you put yourself on a good basketball team, you might not be able to see those type of big time numbers out of him.
Okay.
You know, don't get me wrong, he's a total different player than Russ.
Yeah.
Because he can shoot the ball better than Russ. I think he sees the floor as well as Russ, and he rebounds the basketball.
Yeah.
Russ rebounds better than he does. But I think, you know, offensively, he's a much better basketball player, but I'm saying he's getting those big time numbers because he's on a bad team.
Yeah, that might be the case. Although on a great team, maybe he gets 15 to 20 assists. Who knows?
He might. You never know.
No, but he's fun to watch. There's
no doubt.
And
I'm buying the ticket.
I'm
buying the ticket.
I'm there. But the Mavs to me are the most surprising team. I didn't think this team would get off to a 5-1 start. Their only losses against Denver.
You know what? I didn't either. And it's funny because I talked to Jason over the summer, and I was like, "Yo, man, you know, is it going to be good? You know, because we have those topics. Is it going to be good?" He was like, "H, I'm going to make it work." He was like, both of those guys, they tell me that they're in, I'm going to make it work. So I'm not surprised, but I am surprised.
I am definitely, and it's a great start for them. And I just didn't know about their depth, but right now they're going 6-7 deep. They had 7 players in double figures in that win last night.
And they're not playing a center. They're playing straight out small ball. So, you know, he's got 8-9 small guys he got out there, but he's just going up and down. And Luka and Kyrie is just running the show.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, tonight it's Warriors and Pistons. That's a good matchup. The Pacers are in action tonight. How about Tyrese Halliburton and what he did the other night?
Did you see that?
I did.
Woo!
Amazing. All in a loss. That was tough. They couldn't get it done at home.
You know,
exactly.
He had one of those games here in Sacramento too, to where, I mean, just went crazy, scored the basketball, had crazy assist numbers and rebound the basketball well, but we lost.
Yeah, exactly. That's the downer in the whole thing. In that game, he had 43 points and 12 assists.
Wow.
Yeah. And the 3-point shooting was ridiculous for Tyrese in that game. He was 8 of 12 from distance. I think a lot of those came in the second half. He had like a quarter record for threes. He had 25 points in that third quarter.
I mean, he is the poster boy for if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Because his jump shot isn't particularly pretty.
Not at all.
At all. But it's efficient. It works for him. So, you know, if you're a young player out there and, you know, you're trying to work on your game, if your jump shot isn't totally correct, but you're shooting a very high percentage, stay with it.
Yep. All right.
Stay with it.
Back to the phone lines. Edward wants to talk about some starting lineup changes. Edward, welcome into Game Night. How are you, my friend?
Hey, thank you, Scott. You know, I always look at injuries as opportunities. And so rather than trying to say, who can we put in there who can fill De'Aaron's spot and do what he does, I say, who can we put in there and give them a one-time shot to prove they belong? And this year, that would be Colby Jones. And you go to him and you call him in the office and say, young man, until De'Aaron Fox is back, you are going to start next to Davion. You're going to play the first 8 minutes and sub out. You're going to be a starter. Prove you belong in the league, because if you don't prove it by the time he comes back, you'll probably be the 11th man all year. But I would give a guy a chance who could show you something, who could be our Draymond or our Jokic, the guy you find in the second round that every good team has.
What do you think, High Flyer?
First of all, you don't find one guy that's on this team that's going to cover De'Aaron's shoes. No way, no how. It has to be done collectively, Scott.
Yep.
But my thing is you need somebody to run this offense. You need somebody to set the tone. Davion is coming in. He's struggling a little bit, but you're going to need someone to help these other guys get off. You know what I'm saying? You're going to need something extra out of you guys coming up. You need something extra from Sasha. You're going to need something extra from
sprinkle here, sprinkle
there. Yes, McGee.
Yeah.
You're going to help Sabonis get a couple of easy baskets, and the only guy that does that is Malik Monk. And for me, I would start him.
Yeah.
Because you need to get that going early, because it seemed like the Kings were just sitting around waiting for fourth quarter Fox to come in the fourth quarter, and he didn't walk through the door.
Yeah.
So you need to get that early. That's why I say start Malik, bring Davion off the bench. Now, if Kevin Huerter can hit a shot and you can get Keegan Murray to start knocking down shots, you might be looking at a different type of scenario. But right now, you're going to need Malik to try to help those guys get going.
All right, back to the lines. John, welcome into Game Night. How are you, my friend? John, we got you?
Quick question. Now, I'm going to preface my question by saying that my basketball IQ isn't super, super high. But now when I'm watching Davion, it seems like that with the basketball, he's extremely quick with the basketball, and more particularly has a very, very quick first step. Why do you think he doesn't get to the rim as much, particularly when he has a slow-footed defender on him?
Well, you have to understand Davion's size. Yes, he can beat his guy to the basket, and I've seen on certain occasions where he does. He gets to the basket, but when you get to the basket and their defense is collapsing in, those 7-footers are meeting him at the rim.
Yeah.
And it's hard for him to score over those guys. That's why I say Malik Monk is a better fit. Malik Monk is taller. He has much more of an explosive game towards the rim, and he can score over big guys.
Well, I think the other thing too, John, is that they want Davion shooting the 3-point shot, so they're going to play off of him, right? So that makes it even tougher to get inside.
Right, you have to beat your man and plus beat the big guy.
Absolutely. But, John, I think that was a highly intelligent question. I wouldn't question your basketball IQ.
Yeah, that was all right,
question.
John. That's right. Call us back, man. We'll take another question.
Anytime you want, John. All right. That was a good call. 1-800-920-1140 as we go to the break here. The marquee game tonight, Lakers in Miami to take on the Heat. We'll see if they have South Beach flu or not. The Heat are just 2-4, a team that's struggling a little bit. What do you think about tonight?
I think the NBA did some tampering and you check. No, shout out to JB. I still think they're sulking because Dame didn't come to.
I think they're having a little Dame withdrawal.
Yeah. They're still sulking, but they're still that same team.
Yeah. And Tyler Hero's healthy. Right. He's balling.
They didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
Like I said, they got Tyler Hero back, a big part.
They did lose Gabe Vincent and Strus. I mean, not the core, but pieces around.
And I tell you what, Gabe was a big part.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a big part. He helped them out big time. But like you say, they still have their core. So as far as them, having trouble manufacturing wins, that's all on their team.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, we'll break down Kings and Rockets, what does Sacramento need to do to get a split in H-Town. We'll talk about that. Game Night is always brought to you by Power Business Technology. Experience for yourself how the Power family can help you with all your business copier needs. Give them a call today, 1-844-POWER-BZ, or go to powercopiers.com. More of Game Night right here. Sactown Sports, 1140.
All righty. We are still live on YouTube, and we'll be out at 4:26.
Okay, 4:26. Got it.
One of the other games, I know there's a lot of games tonight.
There are. Yeah, what do you like tonight on the schedule?
I'm very excited for Boston to take on Minnesota because I told you off air that I think the Timberwolves are going to be a top 5 team in the West this year.
You do. That's the one I don't agree with you on. I mean, they're off to a decent start. They're undefeated at home.
But right out the gate, they are also number 1 in the league in defensive rating. Yeah. So the thing Minnesota's going to do well is play defense.
Well, I will say the big cat is playing inside this year, and that's a good sign. If he's just not hoisting threes and kind of lollygagging around, I mean, the talent's there, obviously.
Yeah, and any team that has Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels and Karl Anthony Towns on the floor isn't going to be.
But wouldn't they be better if they had Taurean Prince and Vanderbilt? And I mean, they just gave away players to the Lakers last year. What do you think? They had so much talent. I love the Timberwolves. And then what did they do last year? They gave away.
They got Mike Conley, though, right?
And I like Mike Conley for a year.
At least he's still hanging around. But but Minnesota, I think Minnesota's there because they're never going to be an elite offense with all those guys on the floor together.
Yeah.
But if they turn the offense over to the Ant-Man, they could be a top.
Well, the
half
Ant-Man
offense.
is the guy who's got the unlimited ceiling.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, they could be a very good basketball team because they got an inside-out game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Cat's still a monster down low. Okay, he gets the job done, and Ant-Man gets it done from the outside. You sprinkle in a couple of more shooters. You got a shot blocker and Rudy Gobert. You got some pieces that you could put together to make a good suit.
And this was the thing that I was thinking going into the season. So when Towns came back last year, I think he only played like 20 games or something post-injury. But in those 20 games, they were the number 1 defensive rating in the league.
Okay.
And then they jump into this year, and through 5 games, they're the number 1 defensive rating again. So the thing they're going to do well is play elite level defense. Any team that has Rudy Gobert is going to play elite level defense.
I'll buy that.
And let me tell you this: if you starting out with elite level defense in your bag, you can win some games because see, your offense can get better just off of your defense being so dominant.
Yeah. And they're going to have to be dominant tonight, taking on the Celtics, who are probably the best team in the league right now. Undefeated, playing great.
Ooh, Boston ain't no joke.
They're nice.
I'm telling you, when they won the Middleton lottery, it's over with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt there. And then, of course, Pelicans and Nuggets tonight, too. That's a juicy game right there.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with the Pelicans yet. I'm still kind of in wait and see.
How bad is Murray hurt? That's the other thing. He went out of the game. I am assuming he's not playing in this one tonight. I haven't seen an injury report for that game, but I would assume he's probably going to be held out for a little bit. So
I would think so.
Hopefully it's nothing serious.
I think the Nuggets will be able to survive. That's my guess.
We'll see.
All righty. We're coming back.
Wrapping things up on game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Getting you ready for Kings Live pregame. That comes up at the bottom of the hour. Jason Ross is here. The high flyer stays. The G-Man will join. He'll have the call tonight, 5 o'clock in H-Town, Kings and Rockets. Sacramento wanting to even out the season series against Houston. It would be a massive problem to lose 2 straight in Houston. Hopefully the Kings will not do that. Game night, as always, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Check out their full line at mbofstockton.com. Henry, for me, it first of all just comes down to right attitude. You know, again, they didn't come out with the right attitude on Saturday. They fought back a little bit. They lost their resistance. The ball wasn't going in. It went against them. They let Dillon Brooks put it to them. That's got to change from the beginning.
For sure. You got to find a way. You know, you have to find a way. You know, the Kings can't afford to be like, oh, well, we're missing our number 1 player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Things like that are going to happen in this league. You know, you always say next man up mentality. Okay, let's see it. Next man up. Let's keep moving. Since De'Aaron is not on the floor, you don't just collapse as a basketball team. You find a way to win.
You have to find a way to win. And I think that's the thing that Mike Brown is most concerned about. He doesn't care whether 50% or 20% of the 3-point shots fall. He's really more concerned about his team's makeup and how they respond to it.
Exactly. You know, you have to understand that your guys are trying. Your guys are out there. They're competing. You know, I mean, I saw the team trying a little bit, but I thought their competitive level could have definitely been a whole lot higher.
Yeah, and I think that's the expectation because that's obviously what Mike Brown's been preaching all the time in the preseason leading into it again. And if you listen to it, his quote was exactly, we have to do a better job of fighting no matter what's going on both ends of the floor. If we miss shots, we miss shots.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
You miss shots, so what? You know, Scott, your shooting could change in a quarter. You can shoot badly, horrible the first quarter, come out in the second quarter and light it up.
Yep.
That's going to take care of itself. Your defensive game usually don't change that fast.
Yeah.
That's something that you have to set a presence. That's something that has to be built inside of you. So the Kings are going to have to understand, y'all got to touch somebody. You just can't, let guys just blow past you and score at will.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons I like doing the show with you so much. I think you're inside the head of Mike Brown. I think you guys relate. You're old school players. I mean, here's his quote to follow up on what you said. I thought our resolve was not good, especially in the fourth quarter. That's something that for sure cannot become habitual because that's what losing teams, in my opinion, do, and that's not what we are.
I can't say that me and Mike are on the same string. I can say this. Me and Mike knows the preparation and what it takes to get there. I'm like this. I can preach about it. My team never got there, but believe me, over all of my years of covering the NBA and being in media and watching all these games, I learned the game. And I'm still a student of the game, but I'll tell you this, the recipe is still the same.
Yeah.
And you can't win big-time games without having a nice presence on the defensive side.
That's absolutely true. Now, having said that, to some extent, it's still a make-or-miss league.
True.
Are you happy with the shots the Kings are getting? Is it just a matter of them missing good looks?
They're missing good looks. But, Scott, you have to have the mindset to understand. I don't care sometimes if you're not making your three-point shots. You take 4 threes in a row and all 4 of those threes miss. I don't care if that 5th three is open.
You got to get inside.
Put that ball on the ground and get a little bit closer. Take a 2. Watch the ball go through the rim.
Yeah.
Get some confidence.
Yeah, and that's what the Kings are still kind of lacking right now, isn't it? That guy who's just going to get in and take it to the rack regardless. Maybe Monk's that guy.
1 or 2 guys, get downhill because everybody's living behind that 3-point line.
Yeah.
Besides Malik Monk, name one other guy that's getting downhill.
I can't.
Nobody. They're standing outside there. They're electing to shoot threes. I understand if that's who you are. If the shots are dropping, fine. Let it go. But are you going to live and die with that?
Yeah.
Before I die, I'm going to try something else.
Absolutely. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about Houston, but just your overall thoughts on the Rockets. I mean, obviously the backcourt's more experienced. Van Vliet and Brooks give them a new dimension. What do you think overall about Houston?
I like what they have out there on the floor. I think the young core plays good basketball. They play hard. They play reckless abandon. They go out there. I think the main thing when you look at Houston is the coach. I think Ime got those guys playing at a very high level. When you have a basketball coach that believes in you and puts you in the right position to succeed, you play good basketball. And that's what they're doing right now. They're playing good basketball.
They're playing good basketball. What do you see as the upside for them this year? I mean, do you have a max? Is this a 30-win team if they play great? 35-win team? What do you think is the biggest upside they could reach?
I think if this team gets to 35, it's a plus win for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you got very young talent. I like Jabari Smith.
He can play.
I think he's a very good player.
Sengun is nice too.
Sengun is solid. Very solid. You have Green out there. Green looks like he wants to be an all-star, because he goes out there and gives you big time minutes. And then, you bring Dillon Brooks. You got Dillon the villain. You got that one guy that's going to go out there and bring you some nasty. So you got a good bunch of elements out there.
No doubt. And Brooks backed it up on Saturday. I mean, 26 points, 9 rebounds. He had every right to look back at the Kings bench.
Ooh, you know what? I would take it personal.
I hope they do tonight.
I take it personal.
Well, we're going to find out if they do. Game's about a half hour away. That's going to do it for game night. Henry, is always great to work with you, my friend. Have a great call tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's it for game night. Coming up next, it will be Kings Live pregame. Jason Ross is in. Him and High Flyer will take you until 5 o'clock tonight. The tip in Houston, G-Man with the call. And then the Kings will be back on Wednesday, back at home. They'll take on Portland Wednesday night. They'll have Oklahoma City on Friday. A good stretch for the Kings here to see if they can rebound from that subpar effort on Saturday night. They got a chance against the Rockets. And then obviously on Wednesday, a Trailblazers team that comes in that is struggling as well. That's it for game night. Kings Live pregame is next. Enjoy all your coverage all evening long right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
That's all for us. Thank you, YouTube people. We will see you on Wednesday.